Chapter 227. At 9 o'clock, Baya persuaded Gu Lingqing to go back to the military. She went to the appointed place. It was still early. She took out a pen and started to design a psychological test. Her phone rang. It was a call from an unknown number. Judging from the area code, it should be from America. She answered it suspiciously and asked in English, "Hello, who is this?" "Are you the psychologist, Baya, Ms. Bai? I'm Nair's assistant. She has some problems and wants to consult you. We'll charge you according to the time of the conversation," the assistant said. Baya knew an actress called Nair. She was a controversial actress. She was beautiful and had a good family background, but her acting skills were lacking. "Sure. Give her the phone," Baya said gently. "Hello, doctor. I'm Nair. I feel like I'm about to collapse. I need your help," Nair said dispiritedly. "I'm glad to help you. What kind of problem is bothering you?" Baya asked politely. "My new movie has been on the air for a week. The ratings are okay, but many people are scolding me under the video. Some say that they want to quit the movie because of me, some say that my acting skills are bad, and some say that I'm a mistress who stole Brittany's husband. Brittany's husband and I are just talking because we're filming. We don't have a real relationship. They're slandering me maliciously and talking nonsense. Now the movie is the most popular one. My acting skills have been recognized by many professionals, but they're scolding me on Weibo and WeChat, saying that my acting is superfluous and asking me to leave the entertainment industry. Some even throw eggs at my door. I'm in so much pain that I don't know what to do," Nair complained. "I remember that there was a time when you registered a secondary account to attack these haters. It was exposed and pushed you to the top of the wave," Baya said in a good tone. "That's because I played a drug addict. They attacked me, saying that I was a prostitute and had sex with the director and producer. I was furious, but I couldn't attack him directly, so I registered a SMUF account to vent my anger. I feel like I'm going to collapse. I don't know how much longer I can hold on. These days, I've been suffering from insomnia and hair loss. My mental state is very bad. I'm afraid of going out and filming TV. I've even thought of committing suicide. My friend introduced me to you and said that you can help me," Nair said while sobbing. "Before I help you, let's talk about the history of the entertainment industry. A long, long time ago, before television, many scripts were known to people through stage performances. For example, the most famous one was Broadway. Actors earned money through tickets and tips. There were very few people who could afford tickets, and only the rich could afford them. Many actors, in order to live a wealthy life, would try their best to get the favor of the nobles and the rich. To put it bluntly, it was said that they were relying on rich people. Those tycoons might be married men, or they might be playboys. What they needed to bear were their own emotional twists and turns. They rarely faced the pressure of public opinion because not many people knew about these dirty things. Gradually, with the advent of television and newspapers, actors became well known to most people. Their every move would be watched. If they did something wrong, such as breaking up a family or taking drugs, they would be attacked by the public and even condemned by the public. Later, with mobile phones, the internet, and Weibo, the exposure rate of stars was very high. The money they earned was also hundreds or thousands of times more than before. Similarly, their every move, even smoking a cigarette on the road, was magnified without limit. They became people who abandoned themselves to depravity. For these people who received attention, opening a SMUF account was equivalent to being shady, picking one's nose was equivalent to having a bad character, and being in love was equivalent to committing a crime. "Do you agree with what I said?" Baya said softly. "That's right. What you said is not wrong at all. Last time I scolded an anti-fan. This anti-fan attacked me innocently, saying that I was shameless and a psychopath. I asked him to keep his mouth clean. This message was cut out of the major networks, and I became the target of attack. They thought that I was wrong, not the anti-fan. I was so angry that I couldn't sleep the whole night," Nair said while crying. "Where are the people who attacked you? How old are they? Are they also aggressive people in real life? Are they mentally ill? You don't even know these. Is it worth it to be angry just because someone said that you don't know anything? I'm just angry that they spouted nonsense without knowing anything. They attacked me randomly and twisted the truth. I'm worried that it will affect my fans. What if no one likes me anymore? What if they abandon the show because of me? What if the investors don't want to look for me? I'll feel guilty too. Will it ruin a good show? Near said sadly. First of all, your worries are unnecessary. There is a difference between those who are close to them and those who are distant from them. For example, as I said above, actors who have less exposure will bear less pressure from public opinion. Actors who have more exposure will bear more pressure from public opinion. Working in the same company, if the boss gives the same resource to employee A will think that the boss is good. Employee B who doesn't get the resource will think that the boss is bad. Your situation is the same. You have tens of millions of fans. Everyone has different upbringing, personality, and environment. Some people are too depressed in their daily lives. They are short-tempered, dark, and paranoid. They can't vent their anger in real life. Anyway, the internet doesn't use their real names. If they see something bad about you, they will scold you 1,000 times more. You can see what kind of people they are from their irresponsible colleagues. Why do you have to feel sorry for these people who have no morals and are venting their frustrations? They are already unhappy. If you have tens of millions of fans, it's normal to have tens of thousands of haters. Most people can see the essence from the phenomenon. It can be reflected from the ratings. Baya comforted her. I'm more worried that the fans will think that what the haters said is true. Near said worriedly. Your worries are unfounded. Let me put it this way. Those who are being slandered, attacked, and plotted against by despicable people will find my words very useful. Those with good self-restraint will find it not bad either. Perhaps it will be useful in the future. However, there will also be some people who will. There will be some people who will curse in a sharp and crazy tone. You can't change the way others curse. This depends on the person's upbringing. You can't change anything by worrying. Chapter 228. Are you talking about Brittany? Near was suddenly enlightened. I don't know. Maybe some of them are your opponents, but some of them are your anti-fans. First of all, you haven't offended these anti-fans, have you? Baya asked. My life is so far away from theirs. I'm busy filming every day. I don't even have time for myself. How could I offend them? I don't know why they hate me so much. Near frowned. Maybe you're too popular and aroused their jealousy. Maybe you're dating their Prince Charming, so they naturally hate you. Or maybe you stole the role of their goddess. Some of them just don't have enough self-cultivation. Let's imagine life as a TV series. Do you think the heroine will casually attack others, trample on others, slander others, insult others, and expose her sharp bad temper because of trivial things? Baya asked softly. Of course not. That kind of person is a cannon fodder. At most, she's the third or fourth female lead. So, as the protagonist, why do you care about a cannon fodder? You don't need to clean up this kind of cannon fodder. Life will make her suffer enough. Why do you need to spend time on unnecessary people's words? Near was suddenly enlightened. So, I'll just treat them as farts, right? Farts will stink. You can't change the environment you're in. Then you should improve your self-cultivation, patience, recognize the reality, and analyze rationally. After all, the fate of farts will vanish. Some people won't be happy if they don't spit it out. However, this kind of person will eventually be hated and hated by everyone in real life. Even the closest people around them can't stand it. They will be punished by fate. Why do you hate them? Their life will not necessarily be better than yours. Letting others go is also letting yourself go. Open-minded people will be happy, and they will bring happiness to the people around them. You can only be happy if you're liked by the people around you. Right, Near? Baya shouted intimately. Near's mood calmed down. She was seriously thinking about Baya's words. You must have a good life in your life, right? Baya smiled and said frankly, when dealing with other people's affairs, one's mood will be calmer, and one's rationality will be clear. One will know what is good and right. When people were dealing with their own affairs, their emotions would be more agitated. When the blood rushed to the brain, it would prevent rational thinking, and they would also make mistakes and make wrong judgments. That was because most people didn't judge whether something was true or false based on what it was. Instead, they judged it based on what they wanted. For example, there's a reality show in which so-and-so and so-and-so are paired up as a couple. People who want this to be true will look for all sorts of small details and reports. Maybe they look at each other to prove that they're really in love. Those who did not want this to be true would find all kinds of reports and small details to prove that they were not in love. When dealing with their own affairs, because of their strong subjective consciousness and lack of rationality, they would often make incorrect judgments and decisions. Me too. So, sometimes, I also need to see a psychiatrist to get some advice. It's not a shameful thing, but I hope that I won't do anything wrong, right? It's really pleasant to chat with you. Moreover, you're very good at solving problems. I feel that I've been brainwashed by you. My friend really didn't introduce the wrong person. Thank you. Later, I'll transfer the money to you according to your fee of 10,000 yuan per hour. There's also a little tip. Thank you, Dr. Bai. Dr. Bai, Er said sincerely. The fee of 10,000 yuan per hour was just for LV Xingzhou. Your friend is? Baya asked suspiciously. Cheng Jinrong. He said that he had seen a doctor here. He just talked with you for a while, and he was cured by you. I'm in a good mood now. I'm going to work hard. That's all for now. I'm hanging up. Finally, thank you again, Dr. Bai. Near said and hung up the phone. In front of Bai Ya, there was a black shadow. She looked up. Cheng Jinrong smiled slightly and said politely, I didn't expect you to come so early. It's only 10 o'clock now. Can you sit down? Baya glanced at the seat opposite her. Cheng Jinrong sat down opposite her and pressed the server button. I want to ask, are you deliberately giving my friend the cold shoulder because of psychological strategy? First, if his son's problem was solved by someone, it would have been solved by now. Second, according to his current treatment method, his son's condition will only worsen, and he will still feel annoyed. Third, this son is his only son. He values him more than his life. So, no matter how expensive I am, he will come to me one day. I'm not using psychological strategy. I'm just sure. Fourth, lowering the price will destroy the expert's aura. If you're too polite to him, it's all for money. He will look down on you. The more impolite you are to him, the more trustworthy he will feel. Baya analyzed. What if you can't cure him after 3 months? Cheng Jinrong was a little worried for Baya. Don't you have confidence in me? Baya said confidently. Cheng Jinrong's phone rang. He saw that it was a call from the United States and answered. Cheng Jinrong. Your friend is amazing. After listening to her words, I suddenly saw the light. My mood is very good, and my appetite is very good. I'm not angry when I met the person who sprayed paint on my car just now, Near praised. If you have friends with psychological problems, remember to introduce them to her. We're all friends, and we should help each other, Cheng Jinrong said righteously. Baya took a sip of coffee. She had a good impression on Cheng Jinrong. She was generous, loyal, responsible, and enterprising. She used to have some obsessive-compulsive disorder, but now it seemed that she had recovered. The speed of treatment depended on the patient's ability to understand. When are you leaving? Baya asked. This time, I mainly came to bring Governor Liu here. After you've finished your discussion, I should be able to leave, right? The waiter came up. A cup of mocha, thank you, Cheng Jinrong said politely. Do you have a project in the hands of Governor Liu? Baya guessed. How do you know? Cheng Jinrong was very surprised. Your attitude towards Liu Xingzhou is a little more flattering and cautious, and you always follow Liu Xingzhou's wishes. Previously, you said that you have your own company. If he is not a subordinate, then he must have a project in his hands, Baya analyzed. You're too smart. Now, there is a very good piece of land in Jinyuan City for sale, but Xinjiang Construction Company is competing with me. If Governor Liu can help me, the possibility of me getting it is very high. Baya frowned and asked suspiciously, what's so good about that piece of land? Cheng Jinrong hesitated. Baya could see his concerns. You don't have to say it if you don't want to. Chapter 229. Baya chuckled. It's dangerous just because I know. How is that possible? Are you a spy? Cheng Jinrong didn't say anything. He just smiled politely with a hint of aloofness and vigilance. Baya knew that he wouldn't say anything, so she didn't ask any more. She lowered her head and took a sip of coffee. The atmosphere suddenly turned cold. It was very strange. Cheng Jinrong cleared his throat. Do you know anything about history? When I was studying psychology overseas, there was a class that specifically talked about the history of both domestic and foreign countries. The main point was to judge a person's character from history and the direction of fate. Why? Do you like to study history? Baya asked casually. My ex-girlfriend's father likes it. He's an expert in this field. His main contribution is to study the geography of ancient times. Using the Song dynasty as an example, he can restore the map of the Song dynasty, where the battles took place, and where the important events took place, Cheng Jinrong explained simply. A map from Tangqian village flashed across Baya's mind. Maybe his ex-girlfriend's father was an expert in this field. Wait, Cheng Jinrong and LV Xingzhou knew each other. LV Xingzhou should have that map, and LV Xingzhou might know Cheng Jinrong's ex-girlfriend's father. Then, could the land that Cheng Jinrong wanted to buy be the place where the treasure was hidden on the map? This thought made Baya a little excited. She wanted to tell Gu Lingqing her guess immediately. Her hand holding the coffee cup was trembling. She tried her best to calm herself down and said respectfully, there are specializations in every field. It's very normal for there to be people who are especially skilled in every field. I remember there's a platform that specializes in antique appraisals. Many people will take their antiques to appraise to see if they're real or fake, and how much they're worth in the market. I saw that the experts were very sure that they could see through it with one look. They're really good. Silly girl. This is for the effect of the show. Those things have already been studied by the experts for a few days before they were presented, Cheng Jinrong said with a smile. That's already very impressive. They know the characteristics of the items from different dynasties. I was thinking that if these experts went to make an imitation, they might be able to pass it off as the genuine one. Baya chatted casually, dispelling the other party's guard. A lot of the real things have been sealed up and are only displayed in museums or exhibitions. These are the replicas made by the experts. But, a lot of the craftsmanship has been lost. Not only are they replicas, they are also exactly the same. Baya sipped her coffee. You've done some research on this? You like antiques? I like it. I think it's very interesting. With these antiques, I feel like I've returned to that era. I also wonder if I was the owner of these antiques in my previous life. Where were these antiques placed in the past? What were they used for? Why were they placed among the funerary items? What did they represent? Cheng Jinrong asked calmly. What kind of girl do you like? Judging from your description, you shouldn't be talking about porcelain, right? Baya probed. I prefer something special. Cheng Jinrong took out a jade pendant that he was wearing and placed it on the table. Do you know who wore this before? Baya saw that the jade was very exquisite and the carvings on it were very special. She was dazzled. Who was it? Panan, Cheng Jinrong said confidently. Baya laughed. Panan was guilty of treason. His entire family was implicated. It's impossible for such a valuable jade pendant to be buried with him. You've been cheated. You might not know this, but Panan was an outstanding person with good taste in clothes. He had many friends and was extremely talented. He also liked to parade the streets. One day, he went out and bought this jade pendant. He had been wearing it ever since. However, because Taifu Yongjun was killed, he was implicated. He asked someone to bring the jade pendant to his good friend, Gong Sun Hong. Gong Sun Hong saved him and the jade pendant has been with him ever since, Cheng Jinrong explained. Baya shrugged her shoulders. If it wasn't an antique buried with him, who would wear it? Since Cheng Jinrong was so sure, if she said no, it would be a disappointment. Have you ever imagined yourself to be Panan? Cheng Jinrong was a little embarrassed. I feel that he was the most wronged person. The record said that he was extremely beautiful, but he was impulsive and liked to curry favor with those in power. That's wrong. Baya nodded. I agree with your point of view. From a few examples I can see that. First, Yongjun was killed. He had foresight. He didn't want to be implicated. This shows that he wasn't impulsive. His mother was gravely ill. When he resigned from his position, he said that if he couldn't even take care of his mother, what was the use of wealth? He was recorded in the 24 filial sons, but it was later removed. Third, he had a wife. When his wife died of illness, he was only 32 years old. He was in the prime of his life, and his career was flourishing. He became an official and lived a wealthy life, but he did not marry a wife, nor did he take a concubine. He was single for 18 years, which showed that he was very important. This shows that he valued relationships and was infatuated. He was a rare man. Chung Jinrong clapped his hands. He felt like he had found a confidant. You and I are thinking the same. However, because he was guilty of treason, when he was recorded in the history books, the emperor couldn't say that he was good. The emperor didn't want to record him in the history books and even removed his name from the 24 filial sons. Pass it on. However, Panan's reputation was too good. The common people, unofficial history, and local calendars all described him perfectly. The emperor had no choice but to let people write it like this. It was just a few words. He didn't dare to say too much, afraid that he would make mistakes. It's like this. The winner takes all. If he succeeded, it would be a positive word. If he failed, it would be a negative word. Isn't there a few famous stories about Zhu Yuanzhang? Heroes are afraid of old men. After he became the emperor, people who knew him in the past came to seek refuge with him. They said that they were miserable in the past and were all beheaded. They said that if they were strong and righteous, they would be promoted. Bai Ya agreed. The coffee in the cup was finished. Chung Jinrong looked at Bai Ya with a different gaze. It was filled with excitement, joy and excitement. It was as if he had been looking for a long time and finally found a girl who was compatible with him. He could see her in his eyes and didn't feel annoyed. How are you and your husband? Chung Jinrong asked with concern. Pretty good, Bai Ya said simply. She had confided in a stranger because he was a stranger. When this stranger tried to enter her life, she rejected him. Bai Ya looked at her phone and changed the topic. Looks like I'm too late. Chapter 230. From Chung Jinrong's words, Bai Ya could sense that he might know a lot of things. I only do what I'm supposed to do, Bai Ya said meaningfully. That's good. I suddenly regret introducing him to you. Chung Jinrong's words carried a hidden meaning. Bai Ya did not ask why. She had a vague feeling that her previous judgment was correct. LV Xingzhou arrived after 11 p.m. With a face full of smiles, he was much more polite to Bai Ya. I'm sorry. I was meeting a friend. There was a traffic jam on my way here. That's why I'm late. Get to the point, Bai Ya said concisely. I agree with your suggestion. May I know when Madame Bai will be able to go to Jinyuan City? LV Xingzhou asked politely. You live in Jinyuan City? Bai Ya was surprised. Jinyuan City was not a provincial capital. Jinyuan is my hometown. My wife and children live there. I only go back on weekends. But when I go to Jinyuan City, I'll be staying longer, LV Xingzhou explained. I understand. You can leave tomorrow. I'll go to the research institute to draft the contract. Please wait for me. I hope that the first sum of money will be in my account before I leave, Bai Ya said. Sure. Let's go to the research institute now, LV Xingzhou said with a smile. Bai Ya looked at LV Xingzhou suspiciously. His attitude today was very different from before. Logically speaking, it shouldn't be like this. Wasn't he going to discuss it in detail? Or was there another reason? Bai Ya brought LV Xingzhou to the research institute. The main reason she went to LV Xingzhou was to tell him that she was from the research institute to lower his guard. LV Xingzhou did not get out of the car. Instead, he waited for Bai Ya in the car. Bai Ya went into her office and printed out the contract for LV Xingzhou to sign. He signed his name without hesitation. Do you want to have lunch together? LV Xingzhou invited. It's fine. I'll be heading to Jinyuan City tomorrow. There will be plenty of opportunities for me to eat with you in the future. I need to go back and pack some stuff, so I won't be able to accompany you, Bai Ya said in a distant manner. That's true. Then, I'll see you in the future. I'll arrange for someone to transfer the money to you. After LV Xingzhou finished speaking, he lowered the black window and drove away. Bai Ya watched him leave and was about to drive the car Gu Lingqing had left for her to the military base. His cell phone rang. She looked at the caller ID and answered, Hello, who is this? Bai Ya, hello. I'm Zhou Hailon. Can you come to the hospital at noon? I want to see you, Zhou Hailon said softly. Bai Ya's lips twitched. Sure. See you later. She wanted to see why Zhou Hailan was looking for her. Could it be that he wanted to start with her? She drove to the hospital. Song Shiyu was not there. There were 2 nurses in the hospital. Go and get me lunch. Zhou Hailan deliberately sent the nurses away. The nurses tactfully went out. Have a seat, Zhou Hailan said softly. Bai Ya sat down on the chair quietly. Zhou Hailan looked at Bai Ya from head to toe. When I was imprisoned by the enemy, I was wondering if Qing would forget about me and fall in love with another woman. It seems that a woman's intuition is very accurate. You're younger, prettier, better built, and more cultured than me. I admit my defeat. Don't think too much. The most important thing for you now is to recuperate. Everything will be fine. There's one thing that I don't know who else can help me other than you. Zhou Hailan lowered her eyes. Bai Ya looked at her. She did not think that she had any ability other than to help Zhou Hailan psychologically. She was very guarded against Zhou Hailan. Zhou Hailan saw that Bai Ya did not respond to her, so she looked at Bai Ya worriedly. Can you promise me that you won't tell anyone? Bai Ya nodded. Tell me. When I was imprisoned by the enemy, I was often gang raped by them until I got pregnant. Zhou Hailan paused for a moment. They asked me to give birth to the child and then identify whose child it was. What about the child? Bai Ya frowned and asked. When I was rescued together with the child. I don't know where it is. I don't dare to let anyone know that it's my child. Firstly, I don't have the ability to raise it. Secondly, I feel very embarrassed. I don't dare to let Qing know that I gave birth to a child, and it's a child that I got. So, what do you need my help with? Bai Ya looked at Zhou Hailan suspiciously. Help me find that child and then adopt him. After interacting with you, I feel that you are a very reasonable person. If you raise the child, he will definitely be very outstanding. Don't tell him that I'm his mother. Zhou Hailan lowered her head. Bai Ya looked at her. She actually could not see through Zhou Hailan at all. What was the purpose of Zhou Hailan telling her about this? I understand. I will try to find out, Bai Ya replied. Thank you. Can you not tell anyone about this? Zhou Hailan begged again. Bai Ya nodded. Don't worry. Zhou Hailan got up from the bed and kowtowed to Bai Ya 3 times. Thank you for helping me regardless of the past. I am relieved that you are taking care of the child. I won't ruin your relationship with Qing, I swear. Get up. Take care of yourself. Bai Ya helped Zhou Hailan up and laid her down on the bed. I'm going to Jinyuan City for a business trip tomorrow. I'll be away for about 3 months. I'll see you when I'm back. Zhou Hailan nodded. Thank you. Bai Ya turned around and walked towards the door. Suddenly, she turned around and looked at Zhou Hailan. Zhou Hailan was stunned. What's wrong? Bai Ya shook her head and walked out of the ward. If she was not mistaken, Zhou Hailan was staring at her back with a sharp gaze. She suddenly turned around. Zhou Hailan did not have time to react. She was startled and panicked. Since the child's matter was a trap, she would deal with it coldly and observe the situation. Zhou Hailan frowned. She watched as Bai Ya walked away. She got up from the bed and made sure there was no one outside. She made a call and said angrily, Bai Ya is an expert in psychology. She is meticulous and has a strong analytical ability. There's no way to fool her. Moreover, Gu Lingqing listens to her. She's very difficult to deal with. You want to back out? I can arrange for you to leave immediately. I don't need incompetent people here. Of course not. I've been away for too long. Give me more time. Zhou Hailan requested. Bai Ya will be going to Jinyuan City tomorrow for 3 months. Think about what you're going to do. Also, unless I give you an order, don't contact me unless necessary. I'm hanging up. Zhou Hailan deleted the message in annoyance. Bai Ya got into the car and called Gu Lingqing. Gu Lingqing picked up. She did not mention anything about Zhou Hailan. If the enemy did not make a move, she would not make a move. Gu Lingqing, I was chatting with Cheng Jinrong today. I found out something important. Chapter 231. Bai Ya was speechless. She was speechless for a moment. Not really. Let's get down to business first. He has an ex-girlfriend. Her father is an ancient geologist. She knows LV Xingzhou. Now, the administrative construction company and his company are fighting over that piece of land. I suspect that it is the location of the map of Tangqian village. Baya told him everything. His ex-girlfriend? He doesn't have a girlfriend now. Gu Lingqing said darkly. Baya exhaled. He should have a girlfriend by now. I'm not that familiar with him. Besides, I'm already married to a married man, and it's a military marriage. Don't you think too much? It's good that you know who you are. I will keep an eye on that piece of land and expropriate it. None of them will get it, Gu Lingqing said straightforwardly. Baya smiled. One more thing. I'm on my way back to the military. I'll leave for Jinyuan City tomorrow. LV Xingzhou's hometown is in Jinyuan City. I'm going there to be a home tutor for his child. I'll be there on Monday and Friday. Our meeting might be on Saturday. Sunday. That's fine. I'll be worried if I leave you there for 3 months. She didn't understand what Gu Lingqing meant. He wouldn't be worried if he left her there for 3 months. Why did he say that it was fine? She said, Huh. Gu Lingqing was as serious as ever. He said in a deep voice, I'll go there to accompany you. Baya's heart was beating fast. She was going to Jinyuan City for 3 months. She was worried. After all, Gu Lingqing was in the military. Zhou Hailan was also in a city. Moreover, Zhou Hailan was good at deceiving people and had special privileges to go to the military. She was worried. After all, she was a woman. She didn't have the magnanimity to put her husband and her first girlfriend together. Hearing Gu Lingqing's words, her heart was filled with sweetness. What about your business in the military? Can you leave? Baya asked worriedly. Didn't you say that the piece of land is a treasure trove? I definitely have to station troops. The past 3 months have been normal. It's a normal company business trip, Gu Lingqing explained to lighten her mental burden. Baya was very touched. She hesitated whether she should tell Fu Yuhuang about Zhou Hailan. After thinking about it carefully again, he decided to wait and see what would happen. Then I'll hang up first. We'll talk when we get to the military base. Baya hung up and her phone rang again. Seeing that it was Su Jiaran, she hesitated for a moment before answering. Where is it? Let's have a meal together today, Su Jiaran said with a smile. Su Jiaran, there's something I want to tell you. My marriage registration with Gu Lingqing hasn't been cancelled. I'm his legal wife now, and it's a military marriage. I can't get a divorce. So, if you really like me, let me go. I don't want to add more troubles. Life is not easy, Baya said straightforwardly. Then, he cut off all his fantasies. Su Jiaran was silent for a moment, and then smiled. What if I ask you this time to talk about your child? I found the child of you and Gu Lingqing. Really? Baya didn't believe it. Nowadays the identification technology is so scientific. I can't lie to you even if I want to. Between the son and Gu Lingqing, you can only choose one. In our wedding room. I'll wait for you. See you in an hour. If you don't come, don't think about seeing the child in the future. I'll also disappear from your life completely, Su Jiaran said. After that he hung up. Baya stared straight ahead. Her hands were still in a motionless position. Her mind was in a momentary confusion. She stopped the car by the roadside, and many chaotic thoughts flashed through her mind. She wanted to go to Su Jiaran's place first, but she was worried that if she went there, Su Jiaran might use force. If she didn't go, she was worried that she would really miss the opportunity to see the child. Another possibility was to tell Gu Lingqing to find out the whereabouts of the child. If he dared to do anything to the child, she and Gu Lingqing would not let Su Jiaran off. But she didn't dare to risk losing the child. Although she had to choose between the child and Gu Lingqing, she and Gu Lingqing were married to a soldier, and they couldn't get a divorce. She had a buffer time. Now, her mind was in a mess. She called Su Jiaran. Su Jiaran picked up the call. A childish voice sounded. Hello, Uncle said, are you my mother? Baya's heart sank. She was even more confused. Baby, how old are you? 5.5. Mother, don't you even know how old I am? Are you my mother? Xiao Bao's baby questioned. Baya felt extremely guilty. Baby, can you give the phone to uncle? Su Jiaran picked up the call. Su Jiaran, can you show me what the baby looks like? How can you be sure that he's my baby? Baya questioned. I've checked your paternity test. Of course, I can do it, Su Jiaran said with certainty. I think you're lying to me. Where did you find Xiao Bao's baby? Baya probed. If you want to know the details, look for the answer yourself. Baya, I won't give you any extra time. I know Gu Lingqing's ability. Within an hour, if you don't arrive, I'll send your son to a place where you'll never find him again. Think carefully. If I find out that you've told Gu Lingqing, you'll never see your son again. Don't be so absolute. It doesn't mean that A is B. There are other choices, right? Baya said anxiously. There's no other choice. Son or Gu Lingqing. Think carefully. Su Jiaran hung up the phone without hesitation. Baya took out her notebook and wrote on the paper for a long time. She wrote down the pros and cons. As the authority, she had lost her direction and walked into a dead end. Seeing the time passing by, she became more and more anxious. She hit the steering wheel heavily. She couldn't control her emotions anymore. She took out the medicine from her bag and poured it on her hand. At the same time, she made a decision. She might not be able to give birth to a beautiful baby in the future. She wanted her son. Gu Lingqing was very capable. He would definitely find her. He definitely would. Baya threw the medicine into her mouth and leaned on the steering wheel. She calmed herself down gradually and a sharp light flashed in her eyes. She called Lu Shuang. Cool girl, one is your biological son and the other is your beloved husband. Between the two, which one will you learn? Baya asked. Her purpose was to leave a vague message to Gu Lingqing. In this way, it didn't count as telling Gu Lingqing. There's only one son, but I can have many husbands. Of course, it's my son. Moreover, my son is my own flesh and blood. He's definitely closer to me than a man. Lu Shuang said casually. What's wrong? Chapter 232. For safety's sake, she bought pepper spray and an electric baton when she passed by an appliance store. She placed them in her bag before heading to Su Jiaran's villa. It took her an hour to get there. She keyed in the password and it was Xing Jinyan's birthday. It was ironic, wasn't it? The door opened and Baya walked in. Su Jiaran was watching cartoons with a little boy on the sofa. Baya was shocked when she saw the child. It was a miniature version of her and he looked just like her when she was young. Su Jiaran smiled devilishly and looked at Baya. What are you waiting for? The dishes are in the kitchen waiting for you to make them. Lil Tian and I haven't eaten yet. Lil Tian looked at Baya. He looked at Baya and asked in a childish voice, Are you my mummy? Baya was stunned for a few seconds. She walked over to the little boy and squatted down in front of him. She was so shocked that her mind went blank as she looked at the little boy's face. Lil Tian looked back at Baya and also looked at Baya. As he looked, his eyes turned red and tears flowed out. He said sadly, Mummy, why didn't you come to find me? Baya looked at the little boy's tears and her heart seemed to have been hit by something. Tears flowed out of her eyes. Her child was snatched away less than a week after he was born. She had wanted to protect her child from the start. Baya rubbed the little boy's head. I'm sorry, Mummy couldn't find you. Lil Tian threw himself into Baya's arms and hugged Baya tightly. Mummy, you've found Lilton. You'll never abandon me again, right? Of course not. Mummy will take good care of you, Baya said with certainty. The little boy cried even more sadly. Mummy, Mummy. I didn't have a good life in the past. When Baya heard the bad things that the little fellow said, her heart ached even more, and her heart was filled with sorrow. She was the one who brought the child to the human world. It was her fault for not protecting him properly that caused him to live such an unfortunate life. All right, you guys have a good chat. I'm going to the kitchen. Su Jiaran walked towards the kitchen with a malicious glint in his eyes. Things had gone far out of his control. This was not good. He turned around and looked at Baya, who was smiling gently. Originally, this woman was his. She would have given birth to several lively and lovely children for him. Their family should have been very happy. Su Jiaran furrowed his brows. His expression was extremely ugly. He wanted to return to the past more and more, when she still loved him. Now, as long as he was given a chance, there was still time, right? Su Jiaran walked into the kitchen. Tell me, how did Uncle find you? Baya asked softly. Little Tian pursed his lips and cried again. Baya wiped away little Tian's tears. You've suffered a lot in the past. Now that you have me, I won't let you suffer anymore. My adoptive parents adopted me. In the 3rd year, when I had a younger brother, they didn't treat me well. They sold me to human traffickers. They wanted to cut open my stomach and put poison in it. I escaped and have been wandering the streets ever since. I've been to many places, but I often don't have enough to eat. I can't sleep. I'm afraid I'll be caught again, little Tian said sadly. Only then did Baya realize that little Tian was very, very thin. His face did not have the luster of a 6-year-old child. Although he was dressed very well, probably because Su Jiaran had changed him into good clothes. Baya did not dare to imagine what this little fellow would do in the winter when he had no money. Where do you sleep? Baya asked with a pained heart. I'm very smart. I sleep in KFC. It's open 24/7. There's heating in winter and air conditioning in summer. But they don't like me, so I walk to a different place every day. During the day, I walk to beg for food. At night, I sleep in KFC. The more Baya listened, the more her heart ached. Tears streamed down her face. She thought that her childhood was unfortunate. She spent a long time in the orphanage. But after her mother came out of the nursing home, she took her away. Before her illness, she had enjoyed a mother's love. When she was in the orphanage, she did not have to worry about clothes, food, or sleep. I'm sorry. It's all my fault. I didn't protect you well. It won't happen again, Baya said with tears streaming down her face. Come over and eat, Su Jiaran shouted. Baya turned around in surprise. Didn't he say he didn't cook? Su Jiaran smiled charmingly. His voice was very gentle and magnetic. Come over and eat. I'm just joking with you. The food was delivered. I'm just waiting for you to eat. You shouldn't have starved the child, Baya frowned and complained. Su Jiaran's smile widened. How would I dare to starve your sweetheart? When I was waiting for you, I ate a cake. Baya was a little relieved. He held Lil Tian's hand and walked to the dining table. When he saw the dishes on the table, his eyes lit up. Thank you, Daddy Su, for preparing so much delicious food. It would be great if I could have so much delicious food every day. The child's wish was pure and simple. But Baya felt sour when she heard that. This was what other children had every day but did not cherish. It was indeed what this child desired from the bottom of his heart. Su Jiaran smiled and picked up a drumstick for Lil Tian. Then from now on, you will be with Daddy Su and Mommy Su every day, okay? Okay. Lil Tian was so touched that he cried. Baya looked at the child lovingly. The tears in her eyes could not stop flowing. Su Jiaran handed a napkin to Baya. Baya took the napkin and wiped Lil Tian's tears. She also wiped her own tears. Su Jiaran held her hand. Xiaoya, I know that this is the life you've been dreaming of. Children, a husband, a family. I can give you a warm home. You can see the changes in me, right? I've been waiting for you. I won't make any more mistakes in the future. We will be very happy. If you are willing to give birth to a child for me, we will have another child. Our love for Lil Tian will not diminish. If you don't want a child, we don't want one. I will treat Lil Tian as mine. Baya lowered her eyes. She had calmed down. She was a little emotional now. She did not want the child to see it. She stood up and walked to the washroom. Su Jiaran followed and hugged Baya from behind. I love you. You know that I can give up anything for you. I can give up nothing as long as you are with me. Su Jiaran confessed. Baya looked at him. The child is Gu Lingqing's. Can't you give it to me? A crack appeared in Su Jiaran's eyes. His eyes were red and wet. Xiaoya, I gave up my career and my enemies for you. Aren't you being a little too cruel to me? I gave the child to you and Gu Lingqing. What about me? Am I all alone? I can't. I have you. Chapter 233. Su Jiaran was angry. He also felt heartache because of Bai Ya's favoritism towards Gu Lingqing. He let go of her hand. Bai Ya, you can't have your cake and eat it too. You want Gu Lingqing and the child at the same time. That's impossible. If you want Gu Lingqing, I won't give the child to you. I'll also tell Lil Tian that you chose love and abandoned him. Lil Tian is still young. You will traumatize him if you do this, Bai Ya said anxiously. She could not help but hate Su Jiaran's methods. Isn't this your choice? Love or family, you can only choose one, Su Jiaran said. He was very determined as he stared at Bai Ya. Bai Ya stared back at Su Jiaran. Her mind was spinning very quickly. Why couldn't she have love and family at the same time? That child clearly belonged to her and Gu Lingqing. She wanted to tell Gu Lingqing. Now that she knew what the child looked like, with facial recognition, with Gu Lingqing's ability, he would definitely be able to find Lil Tian. Bai Ya's cloudy eyes gradually became clear. She had to leave now. She could not anger Su Jiaran. She had to retreat safely. I need to think about it. Su Jiaran smiled. Xiaoya, I know you too well. Your eyes tell me that you have already made up your mind. Now that you said you need to think about it instead of telling me your decision directly, it means that your decision is to choose Gu Lingqing. You're thinking that since Gu Lingqing is so capable, as long as you tell Gu Lingqing, you will definitely be able to find the child. Based on the child's appearance, you will definitely be able to find the child. Bai Ya furrowed her brows. Su Jiaran was too scary. He had analyzed her thoughts very thoroughly. She was a little annoyed. She studied psychology, but she didn't hide her thoughts well. Didn't you ask me to choose one of the two? Since you chose Gu Lingqing, I can only respect your choice. However, I will give the child plastic surgery and give him bone marrow replacement surgery. You know, as long as the bone marrow is replaced, the DNA will be changed, so, you will never find him. He will still be resentful for the rest of his life. I hate your choice, Su Jiaran said coldly and turned around. Bai Ya grabbed his arm anxiously. You can't do this. The child is still young. This is too cruel. Su Jiaran glanced at her, and there was no warmth in his eyes. You think I'm cruel to the child, but aren't you cruel to me? Why can't you imagine what you've done when you're talking about how cruel I've been to you? What did you do to me 3 years ago? In order to gain Xing Jinyan's favor, you tried to kill me many times. Have you forgotten all of this? Bai Ya was emotional. When did I try to kill you? I told you that the person who kidnapped you would never hurt you. It was a trap set up by me. I wanted Xing Jinyan to trust me completely because I wanted to take revenge, but I didn't want you to die. Su Jiaran was also emotional. What about the harm you've done to me? 3 years. I gave you 3 years of time. I watched the women around you change one after another. Do you know how I felt at that time? I was in purgatory every day, living a life worse than death. That's because I used my hatred for Xing Batian on you. I haven't seen through my feelings for you. In the 3 years that you were abroad, I kept myself clean because I knew that I was in love with you. You wanted me to castrate myself, so I castrated myself. I didn't care about sex at all, I only cared about you. Su Jiaran raised his voice. Bai Ya was angry and pushed Su Jiaran hard. This choice of family and love made her break down. She picked up the hand sanitizer on the sink and smashed it on the ground. After smashing it on the ground, she was still angry. She then threw the napkin box on the sink on the ground. She still felt that she couldn't vent the anger in her heart and smashed the vase on the ground. She went into the bathroom. The shower gel, shampoo, and shaving lotion were all smashed on the ground. She still felt uncomfortable and punched the wall hard. Panic flashed in Su Jiaran's eyes. He had seen this crazy state of hers from Bai Ya's mother, Bai Bing. He rushed forward and hugged Bai Ya. Bai Ya struggled with brute force, but she couldn't get out. She turned her head and bit Su Jiaran's arm. Su Jiaran let out a muffled groan. Bai Ya tasted the blood, but she still bit him hard. The door was pushed open. Xiao Tian stood at the door and looked at the two people inside. He said in a childish voice, Daddy Su, Mommy, are you fighting because of my appearance? Daddy Su is the person who treats me the best, and I like Mommy too. If you fight because of me, I'll leave after dinner. Don't fight because of me. Baya paused and looked out of the door. The little fellow looked at them pitifully. Tears flowed down Baya's face, past her chin, and fell on Su Jiaron's hand. She saw the blood on Su Jiaron's arm and stained his white shirt. She also saw the mess in the room. She was stunned and a little absent-minded. She was acting up again. When she was emotional, she couldn't think at all. Her mind was blank. When she woke up, she didn't even know what she had done. Seeing that Baya had calmed down, Su Jiaron let go of Baya, walked to Xiaotian, rubbed his head, and said with a smile, "Daddy Su and Mommy Tian didn't fight because of Xiaotian. It has nothing to do with Xiaotian. We are both happy to find Xiaotian. Xiaotian, be a good boy and go out for dinner. We'll have a good chat with Xiaotian's mommy. We'll have dinner with Xiaotian later." "Can Daddy Su and Mommy Su not fight?" Xiaotian asked. "Daddy Su and Mommy Su don't fight. Look, Daddy Su is holding Xiaotian's mommy. Daddy Su promised Xiaotian that he and Mommy Tian will never fight. I will spoil and love Mommy Tian, just like Daddy Su loves Xiaotian, okay?" Su Jiaron coaxed patiently. Xiaotian looked at Baya, ran over, and hugged Baya. His small body only reached Baya's waist. Baya lowered her head and looked at Xiaotian. How could she bear to let him, who was not even 6 years old, continue to wander around? Just the thought of it made her heart ache. Tears continued to roll down her cheeks. "Mommy, don't cry. I'll protect you when I grow up." Xiaotian looked at Baya with fear in his eyes. He was afraid of being abandoned. A child's eyes were innocent, and he didn't know how to hide his emotions. Baya caught his emotions and squatted down. She looked at Xiaotian and said, "Xiaotian, go eat first. I want to talk to your daddy Su." "Okay. Xiaotian, be a good boy. Xiaotian will go eat. I won't cause trouble for daddy and mommy." Xiaotian went out obediently and closed the door for them. Chapter 234. When did it start? Su Jiaron asked worriedly. Her illness was similar to her mother's, so she did not want to hide it. "After I committed suicide and was saved." "You're a psychiatrist. Haven't you cured many patients?" Su Jiaron was confused. He did not believe Baya when she said that she was mentally ill and did not take it seriously. He was really scared just now. A doctor can't cure himself. I've tried to hypnotize myself many times, but I've failed. So, I always carry 2 kinds of medicine in my bag. One is sleeping pills, and the other is chlorpromazine. Chlorpromazine is a sedative that is very effective for mania, but it has a lot of side effects. It's toxic and can only be excreted after 6 hours. So, I can't take it twice in a row within 6 hours, or it will cause high intraocular pressure and depression. So, I can't sleep for a long time and have severe insomnia. After using the sleeping pills for a long time, I'll become dependent. I don't think I'll live to old age. Even if I do, I'll have dementia. I won't know anyone and will be immersed in my own thoughts. I won't even know that I've lost control of my bowels. Even if you talk to me, I won't be able to hear you. It's more annoying than being in a vegetative state," Baya said calmly. Su Jiaron's heart ached terribly. Baya was good at studying since she was young. Even when she went to university and had to work to earn money, she was still the first in her class and received scholarships every year. How could such a smart girl get dementia when she was old? He knew Bai Bing's situation. "It can be cured, right?" Su Jiaron frowned. "I don't know. Maybe the future is more advanced. The future is too far for me, so I never think about it." Baya took a deep breath and looked at him. "Su Jiaron, are you willing to give me the child?" Su Jiaron was furious. He held Baya's shoulder. "Are you still stubborn? Who made you commit suicide? Who gave you this illness?" "It's not me, it's Gu Lingqing. If you stay with Gu Lingqing, your illness will worsen. Let me tell you, Zhou Hailan has a child too. The child belongs to Gu Lingqing." Baya's calm eyes wavered. "What did you say? How is that possible?" "Zhou Hailan told me that the child was born after she was gang-raped when she was imprisoned. Why do you think those people injected Gu Lingqing with an aphrodisiac 6 years ago? Gu Lingqing ran away and didn't have sex with Zhou Hailan, but he had sex with you. After those people went, they collected Gu Lingqing's J fluid and made Zhou Hailan pregnant. They wanted to have Gu Lingqing's child. They wanted to have Gu Lingqing's child, so that they could use it to threaten Gu Lingqing in the future, Su Jiaran said firmly. Bai Ya's brain exploded. She staggered backward. Su Jiaran didn't hold her hand tightly and she almost fell. She held on to the pool. She suspected that Zhou Hailan was lying when he said that he was raped. Zhou Hailan should know that the child belonged to Gu Lingqing. Gu Lingqing didn't know. So, Zhou Hailan wanted to bring the child out through her hands. Then, Zhou Hailan would say that she was raped and make Gu Lingqing feel guilty. She felt a headache just thinking about it. Gu Lingqing was a very responsible person. If Zhou Hailan had his child and was raped because of him, his decision might change. She couldn't bear his change. She would really go crazy and never wake up again. Suddenly, she didn't want to struggle anymore. She wanted to live a quiet life. She wanted a home, a place where she felt warm and cozy. A place where she knew where she should go after a busy day. I choose my child, Baiya said gently. She lowered her eyes and let out a sigh. Su Jiaran was emotional. He hugged Baiya. I will take good care of you. I won't let you get hurt again. It's okay if you can't have children. We have little Tian, and that's enough. Is Zhou Hailan a spy? Baiya asked again. I don't think so. I've checked on her past. She completed many missions outstandingly. If she's a spy, it's impossible for her to work for the country and complete her missions smoothly. Why do you ask? Su Jiaran didn't understand. Baiya's lips twitched. Because of prejudice. I don't think she's a good person. Instead, I think Xia is a good person. Moreover, Zhou Hailan lied to me. She should know that Gu Lingqing didn't have sex with her. She should have been raped. After she fainted, she was injected with Gu Lingqing's J fluid, Su Jiaran explained. How do you know so clearly? It's as if you saw it with your own eyes? Baiya raised her doubts. I caught a fish that slipped through the net. He said everything, including the fact that the child is Gu Lingqing's. But, Zhou Hailan was raped. They couldn't be sure whose child it was, right? Baiya was doubtful. That's because the people before him all used condoms. Of course, they could be sure that the child was Gu Lingqing's. Zhou Hailan fainted. They didn't know what happened after that. Then why didn't they let Zhou Hailan know that the child was Gu Lingqing's? Zhou Hailan should really want to give birth to Gu Lingqing's child. Weren't they afraid that Zhou Hailan would lose the child? Baiya still didn't believe that Zhou Hailan was a good person. It's not like that. Zhou Hailan was raped in the past. She was very afraid of being raped again. Therefore, the pregnancy was a protective umbrella for her. She wouldn't lose the child. On the contrary, she would protect the child well and not let herself be raped again. But, if Zhou Hailan knew that the child was Gu Lingqing's, then she would know that those people wanted to harm Gu Lingqing. She loved Gu Lingqing very much. For Gu Lingqing, she would disfigure herself and burn herself to death. Therefore, she wouldn't keep the child. Since those people got Gu Lingqing's child, why didn't they let anyone else have the child? Why did they let Zhou Hailan have the child? Baiya scrutinized Su Jiaran's eyes. That's because they thought that the child was Zhou Hailan's. That's why Gu Lingqing would have a special feeling of pity for the child. If the child was theirs, according to Gu Lingqing's upright and plain-spoken character, she wouldn't have been merciful. Su Jiaran analyzed. Baiya's eyes flickered, and her eyebrows slightly furrowed. There was no logical flaw in what Su Jiaran said. Perhaps, she really had a prejudice against Zhou Hailan, so she misunderstood her and looked at this woman with prejudice. Since Zhou Hailan was a good person and not a spy, she was not worried that Gu Lingqing would be in danger. Su Jiaran, can you give me some time? I'm already married to Gu Lingqing. I want a divorce first and then go with you. I'll only go with you for 3 years. After 3 years, you can't force me to stay or leave. Can you agree? Baiya made the final negotiation. Chapter 235. I still have things to do. Give me 3 months. Baiya was very determined. She had given up halfway through many things. Her love for Su Jiaran, her love for Gu Lingqing, and her work. Now that she had faked her death, she could no longer stay in City A. She wanted to do something to avoid leaving any regrets. Okay, I'll give you 3 months. I'll send little Tian away in 3 months. Baya, don't do anything that you'll regret, and don't let Gu Lingqing know about it. Otherwise, there's no turning back. Su Jiaran reminded her. Baya nodded. I'm going back. I'll go to Jinyuan City tomorrow. I'll send you back to the military base. Su Jiaran opened the door of the washroom. It's okay. I can go back by myself. Baya looked at little Tian. He sat on the chair obediently and looked at them like a child who was afraid of being abandoned. Baya walked up and kissed little Tian on his forehead. I have some things to deal with. Little Tian, wait for me for a few months. From now on, we won't be separated anymore. Little Tian jumped down from the chair and hugged Baya. I have a mother now. I won't be bullied anymore. Even if I have to live under a bridge with you, I'll feel very happy. Baya rubbed little Tian's head. I have money. I won't let you live under a bridge with me. I'll let you go to school, study, find a wife, and be a useful person. Okay. As long as you don't want little Tian, I'll listen to you, little Tian said in a childish voice. Baya kissed little Tian on his forehead again and walked to the door. Su Jiaran called a taxi. Baya got into the car and left. She leaned on the chair in a daze. Her mind was filled with Su Jiaran's words. 3 months later, she would be with little Tian and live a peaceful and warm life. Perhaps this was the happiest life. Her phone rang. She saw that it was Gu Lingqing's call and picked it up. When will he arrive? Gu Lingqing asked softly. 1 or 2 hours. What's wrong? Baya looked outside and tried to determine where he was. My mom asked you out for dinner. Since you didn't want to go, I rejected her for you. You can go, Baya agreed. Previously, when she wanted to be with Gu Lingqing, she would think before she spoke and did things. Now that she was leaving, it didn't matter anymore. She didn't want to put Gu Lingqing in a difficult position. Then don't come back yet. I'll see you in 2 hours at the famous Jiangnan restaurant in Shuiyu International. Okay. Baya hung up the phone. Anyway, she didn't have much luggage. She could go back to pack after dinner. She first went to Shuiyu International and bought 3 sets of clothes, some cosmetics, and a lipstick for Song Shiyu. After she bought it, she went to the famous restaurant in Jiangnan. Song Shiyu also happened to arrive, and the two of them bumped into each other. Baya nodded politely. Follow me. Song Shiyu maintained her arrogance and entered the private room. She passed the menu to Baya. Order whatever you like. I'm not particular about food. You can order. Baya passed the menu to Song Shiyu. Song Shiyu felt that the current Baya was a little strange. She didn't have the sharpness in the morning. She seemed a lot gentler. She frowned slightly and sketched on the menu. 3 minutes later, she passed it to the waiter. The waiter went out to place the order. Song Shiyu looked at Baya seriously. I've thought about what you said seriously. I'm sorry that my words were harsh. Baya took out the lipstick from her bag and placed it in front of Song Shiyu. This color of lipstick suits your temperament and skin color. I bought it when I went to buy cosmetics. I thought of you and bought it. I'm not good to you, Song Shiyu said coldly. When I'm angry, I'll think that you're not good to me. But when I look at things from your perspective, I realize that you've already done your best. You've sacrificed a lot for your family, for your husband, and for your child, Baya said gently. Song Shiyu narrowed her eyes and said defensively, You're trying to please me? Baya smiled. You invited Lingqing and me to dinner, and you came alone. You must be expressing your blessings for me and Lingqing, or perhaps you have something to tell me. Pleasing me won't change your opinion of me. Psychology is really good. You can understand people's hearts and confuse men, Song Shiyu said in disdain. Actually, psychology can't confuse men. There's a scale in everyone's heart. It's just that you can understand each other's thoughts better than others, Baya explained. If I had the right to decide, I wouldn't choose you as my daughter-in-law. But Lingqing likes you. Just like what you said, I don't want him to forget how to love when he has everything. When she said the last sentence, Song Shiyu was a little sad. Baya looked down. Song Shiyu had already agreed for her to be with Gu Lingqing, but she couldn't stay with Gu Lingqing forever. No one can tell what will happen in the future. You don't have to worry about it. Just do what you want to do. Or the more you do, the more mistakes you'll make. Forget it, Baya said meaningfully. Why do I feel that you're a little strange? I've agreed for you to be together, but you're putting on airs? Song Shiyu was a little angry. I'll take things as they come. Let nature take its course, Baya said lazily. The door was pushed open. Gu Lingqing walked in and saw that both Baya and Song Shiyu were there. Mom. After he greeted them, he sat next to Baya and held Baya's hand. He looked at Baya. Baya smiled. We came 10 minutes earlier than you. The dishes are already ordered. Okay, Gu Lingqing replied. When are you guys planning to have children? Song Shiyu went straight to the point. Yes, what's wrong? Gu Lingqing asked in confusion. I'm not old yet. When you guys have children, I can help take care of them. Let's have a wedding another day. Song Shiyu agreed with Baya. Gu Lingqing understood why Song Shiyu invited them to dinner. Thank you, Mom. I hope you guys can grow old together, Song Shiyu said plainly and looked at Baya. Baya didn't say anything. She lowered her eyes. Gu Lingqing's grip on her hand tightened a little. Baya looked at him. He smiled. Gu Lingqing rarely smiled. When he smiled, he looked exceptionally good. However, his smile was poison. It could directly poison her heart. It made her heart ache at the thought of separation. In the future when she was gone, he would probably be with Zhou Hailon. It turned out that from the beginning to the end, she was the passerby, not Zhou Hailon. After dinner, it was still early. After Gu Lingqing put the clothes she bought in the car, he held her hand and went shopping in Shuiyu International. Just like a normal couple. Chapter 236. Baya came back to her senses and glanced at Gu Lingqing. She was thinking that she and Gu Lingqing had gone through so many twists and turns and could not be together no matter what. Was it because she did not fulfill her promise to Tang Xiaojiu? After she left, would Gu Lingqing be with Zhou Hailon and forget her again? In the future, where would she go with little Tian after changing her appearance? As she thought about it, her thoughts became more and more erratic and she began to meditate. I was thinking about what happened in Tangqian village and I was a little absent-minded, Baya said with a smile. Gu Lingqing smiled and looked at her lovingly. I didn't expect my mother to agree to us being together so quickly. Your mother actually loves you. 3 years ago, your father kidnapped me and your mother stopped him. If it wasn't for your mother, I might have died. She is not a bad person. She just thinks that you are more suitable for someone better, Baya explained generously. Time reveals a person's heart. They will realize that you are good and they will also know that you are the most suitable person for me. Baya did not say anything and held Gu Lingqing's arm. If there were only 3 months before she completely left, she would also love Gu Lingqing so that she would not have any regrets in the future. Lingqing, let's do a multiple-choice question. You have been locked up in a room for several years. When you are about to leave, you can take one thing with you. What will you take with you? The choices are a teacup, a dog, the diary you have written all these years, a tape recorder. What is your answer? Baya asked casually. What do these things represent? You can ask me directly if you want to know. I will tell you. Other than military secrets, I will not hide anything from you. Gu Lingqing saw something wrong. I am just asking casually. Baya shrugged. You have known me for 6 years. You should know what kind of person I am and what my thoughts are. Testing is not suitable for us. Tell me, what is it? Your condition hasn't been right, Gu Lingqing asked directly. Lingqing, I'm just hypothesizing. If one day between your child and me, you could only choose one, who would you choose? Baya asked. You. Gu Lingqing said without even thinking. What if you die without the child? Baya asked immediately. You. Gu Lingqing didn't even blink. Why? Baya was puzzled. Under the premise of a single choice, I can have many children. You only have one. In terms of feelings, I only have feelings for you. This single choice is easy for me to make. Xiaoya, what about you? Gu Lingqing asked and looked at her with burning eyes. Baya was silent. Her eyes were complicated. She was afraid that Gu Lingqing would notice something, so she lowered her head. I don't know either. The child was taken away because of my negligence. If I don't want him anymore, he will be too pitiful. Your worries are not real at all. This child is also mine. How could I not want him? Little fool, what are you thinking in your head? You are worrying for nothing. Gu Lingqing flicked her forehead. Baya twitched the corner of her mouth. Since she had made a choice, she didn't want to be entangled in it. She saw the cinema in front. Let's go watch a movie together. You and I haven't had a good time watching a movie. Okay. Gu Lingqing said lovingly, what movie do you want to watch? I don't think it's literary. Science fiction. Baya stared at the screen and said, okay. Gu Lingqing paid, bought a big bucket of popcorn and 2 cups of Coke, and entered the cinema with her. The movie that Gu Lingqing chose was The Rise of the Opposite Sex. It was mainly about a spaceship that had an accident, passed through a black hole, and landed on a foreign planet. There were aliens invading a human's body. It was a sci-fi thriller. She didn't really watch this kind of movie, but watching it with Gu Lingqing felt different. They were like a couple in love, sharing popcorn, watching a movie, and enjoying the sweet time of the two of them. She glanced at him. He was looking at the movie screen, and the colorful light emitted from the screen lit up his handsome side profile. Gu Lingqing felt her gaze and looked at her. What's wrong? Do you want to drink Coke? Baya smiled. I think you are better looking than the movie. Gu Lingqing's lips twitched. He hugged her shoulders and pulled her into his arms. Baya breathed in the clean and fresh scent on Gu Lingqing's body. She had thought it through very clearly. Within 3 months, she would try her best to find the murderer of Tangqian village and give Tang Xiaojiu an explanation. After she faked her death, she would never marry again, let alone fall in love with someone else. 3 years later, Su Jiaran would let go of her. She would take good care of Gu Lingqing's child. True love was not possessiveness. She knew how to let go, so that Gu Lingqing's life could be a little more relaxed. She had no regrets. After the movie, Baya sorted out her thoughts. She and Gu Lingqing were the last to leave. I'm a little hungry. Shall we go for supper? Baya invited. Sure. When are you leaving tomorrow? Gu Lingqing asked. I'll sleep until I wake up naturally. I don't have to work tomorrow anyway. I'm just on my way. I'll go to Jinyuan the day after tomorrow. Tell me which hotel you're staying in after you check in. I'll book a few rooms around you. Gu Lingqing arranged. Sounds good. What do you want to eat tonight? Seafood, barbecue or food stalls? Baya asked, looking at the barbecue shop not far away with a smile. Let's have barbecue then. Gu Lingqing pulled her across the road. There were quite a lot of people eating barbecue. After they ordered, they sat in the innermost area. Baya also brought 2 bottles of beer and 2 disposable cups over. Gu Lingqing took them, opened the cap and poured the beer for Baya first. Baya looked at Gu Lingqing with infatuation. Although he didn't talk much and was usually cool, she felt that he was considered a perfect man. He gave people a calm and reassuring feeling. Gu Lingqing saw her eyes and cleared his throat. If you keep looking at me like this, I can't wait to go to the hotel. Pfft. Baya laughed. He was actually quite humorous after being a man of few words. There were 5 people who massacred the village. Other than Governor Cheng, LV Xingzhou, and LV Liang City, who else do you think is involved? Baya changed the topic. I just checked. LV Xingzhou is very low-key. He doesn't even have much contact with LV Liang City. If there's someone special, it should be your father, Xing Bachuan. They met recently and chatted for a long time. It seems like they're old acquaintances, Gu Lingqing said awkwardly. Him. Baya smiled. It's not strange if he's one of the people who massacred the village. A person who could abandon his wife and feed her antidepressants would do such a crazy thing. Chapter 237. Baya's heart trembled violently. In other words, even if Zhou Hailan came to him with the child, he would still choose her, right? Unfortunately, she was the one who let go first. Even if they were not together in the future, he would still be the man she loved the most and the man she would love forever. Gu Lingqing, why do you like me? Didn't you say that I'm not your type? Baya said with a smile. You kept pushing me away previously, so I said that on purpose. I felt that you fit my expectations, Gu Lingqing said in a low voice. Because she was not good at saying sweet nothings, her face was slightly red. I'm quite mean and my words are not nice either, Baya said self-deprecatingly. Those who speak nice words must have something to gain from it. Even if it's not for profit, speaking nice words to everyone is too philanthropic. I will naturally be on guard against those who speak nice words. As for those who are mean, I feel that what you said is quite reasonable. It's not mean, right? Gu Lingqing explained. Baya giggled. I have a bad temper. It's Taobao's customer service that has a good temper. I don't have a good temper either, so I naturally won't expect others to have a good temper. My figure isn't good either. Gu Lingqing took a sip of wine. You're too skinny. Baya. Gu Lingqing was too honest. However, she liked his sincerity. His words were truthful and trustworthy, which made her feel warm. Then I'll have to eat more so that you won't dislike me in the future, Baya teased. I don't have any requirements for a woman's figure. If they're thin, they'll be fat if they eat more. If they're fat, they'll be fat if they exercise more. If they're ugly, they can have plastic surgery. If they're beautiful, they'll have wrinkles when they're old. What I value is that we can communicate. I think it's good to communicate with you. Gu Lingqing's eyes were burning. He looked at her with burning eyes. These words were very useful to her. All of a sudden, he felt his heart ache. If only Gu Lingqing found their child first. She didn't have to make a difficult choice. He would love their child, and their family could live happily together. At worst, she could accept Zhou Heilan's child. After all, it was not Gu Lingqing's betrayal, but he did not know about it. Baya was too depressed in his heart, but he couldn't say it out loud, so he drank all the wine in the cup in one gulp. Drink slowly. It's not good for your health and you'll get drunk easily, Gu Lingqing said worriedly. When drinking with a bosom friend, 1,000 cups are not enough. I'm happy. I feel lucky to be able to be soul mates with the person I love. Gu Lingqing, you are an extraordinary man. Thank you for falling in love with me, who is full of flaws. Baya poured himself a glass of beer and raised his glass. Gu Lingqing touched her shoulder. When I couldn't find you, I tried my best to find my lost memory. When I found you, I didn't have any regrets when I found that memory. After all, you are by my side. Baya's heart ached even more. What if she died in an explosion 3 months later? The more Gu Lingqing loved her, the more pain he would feel. After knowing the truth, he would hate her even more. Baya wanted to drink all the wine in the cup again, but Gu Lingqing snatched the cup from her hand. We will drink together for a long time in the future. Don't drink like this. Take a sip. Baya only smiled, with a smile of being spoiled. She had read a story before. The gist of it was that a woman who had been married for a long time felt that she was living in purgatory in front of her husband who didn't speak much. She searched for passion outside and met a handsome young fresh meat. At the same time, she reunited with her first love at a party. He was now a big boss with a successful career. All 3 men said that they loved her. She stood at the crossroads of her life and invited her first love and the young fresh meat to her house for hot pot. She wanted to have a showdown, to divorce, to make the final choice. During the meal, she was scalded by the oil in the hot pot, and her hands were red. The young fresh meat looked at her in a daze. Her first love asked her if she was okay. Her husband immediately went to the fridge to get some ice cubes and wrapped them in a towel. He held her hand and helped her to stop the pain. In an instant, she understood who the man who loved her the most was. From then on, she returned to her family and took care of her husband and children. She was more patient, tolerant and understanding. Gu Lingqing was such a person. He was a man of few words, cold and rigid, and was not good at expressing himself. However, his every move expressed his care and love. Gu Lingqing, I waited for you for 3 years. If I ask you to wait for me for 3 years, am I being stubborn? Baya asked with a smile. Gu Lingqing's eyes darkened, and he looked at her in confusion. What do you mean by that? What are you going to do if I wait for you for 3 years? Baya leaned on the table. I'm just saying. I don't want to. I'll go wherever you go. You're my legitimate wife. We'll have our wedding when we come back from Jinyuan in 3 months. Don't have any crooked ideas. Gu Lingqing was a little unhappy, and he drank the wine in his glass in one gulp. Baya was a little worried. What if she died? Would Gu Lingqing die with her? The waiter served the barbecue they ordered. Gu Lingqing blew on the chicken wing and passed it to her. Be careful. It's hot. Baya took it and took a bite absent-mindedly. You eat too. Baya's phone rang. She saw that it was Su Jiaran calling. She suddenly felt annoyed and hung up the phone. Gu Lingqing took her phone and saw the name Su Jiaran. He conveniently blacklisted Su Jiaran. I don't think there's a need for you to keep in touch with him, Gu Lingqing said domineeringly. Baya felt a wave of warmth flowed through her heart. She followed Gu Lingqing's lead and said, That's true. Eat. I'll send you back after eating. It's getting late. Baya put her phone into her bag, and she frowned and looked outside. Su Jiaran's men couldn't be watching her all the time. Could they? What are you looking at? Gu Lingqing asked suspiciously. I want to order some eggplant. It looks delicious. Baya found an excuse. You eat. I'll order for you. Gu Lingqing stood up and went to the ordering area. Baya took out her phone and sent a text message to Su Jiaran. Gu Lingqing is here. I'm eating supper outside. I'll contact you tomorrow. After sending it, she deleted the text message. His heart was thumping, beating very fast. She felt guilty because she had done something bad, but she was more worried that Gu Lingqing's action would annoy Su Jiaran. After eating, they went out and saw Su Jiaran. He leaned against the car door and curled up the corner of his lips. His eyes were gloomy. He looked at Baya meaningfully and said, Xiaoya, you left in a hurry and left something at my place. Baya's heart skipped a beat. She frowned and looked at Su Jiaran in confusion. What did he want to do? Chapter 238. A sharp look flashed past Baya's eyes. She was very unhappy. She stared at Su Jiaran. I don't understand either, Su Jiaran. What do you mean? Su Jiaran smiled evilly. I'm just kidding. Don't take it seriously. I'm going to play cards with my friends nearby. I'll be leaving first. Su Jiaran got in the car and drove away. Baya understood. He was just hinting at her that he was everywhere. I don't like him. Stay away from him in the future, Gu Lingqing said to Baya. I don't like him either, Baya said with certainty. The two of them went back. Gu Lingqing was driving. Baya leaned on the chair and looked at the night view outside the window. If you're tired, sleep first. I'll wake you up when we reach the military base, Gu Lingqing said in a low voice. Okay. Baya closed her eyes. There were too many thoughts, and she couldn't fall asleep. She opened her eyes again. I'm thinking, in fact, the 5 people who slaughtered the village know each other. As long as we know one of them, we can get the other 3 out. Do you want some benefits? Do you want to use the treasure to set up a trap? I have the same idea. There's no hurry. When I get that piece of land, we'll have plenty of time to set it up, Fu Yuhuang said in a low voice. Baya really felt that she and Gu Lingqing were very compatible. Their personalities were similar and their thoughts were the same. They could listen to each other's thoughts and would compromise for each other. They were soulmates in the truest sense. She wanted to tell Gu Lingqing about little Tian. Gu Lingqing, do you have any monitoring devices in your car? Baya asked tentatively. The car will be inspected after entering the military base. There might be monitoring devices installed when we leave the car. What's wrong? Gu Lingqing asked on purpose. I'm just asking. Baya didn't say anything else. She leaned on the chair and looked out of the window. She wanted to gamble for herself. She told Gu Lingqing about Xiaotian. If Gu Lingqing rescued Xiaotian, she could be with Xiaotian and would not have to leave Gu Lingqing. Their family would be very happy. What if he lost? Baya's heart skipped a beat. The image of little Tian being so careful and pitiful flashed across her mind, and her heart tightened. If he lost, Gu Lingqing would find a way, right? The car entered the military area. Gu Lingqing parked the car in the garage. Baya saw that someone really went to check if there were any surveillance cameras in the car. As soon as they entered the house, the security officer ran over and reported, Chief, we found a listening device under the base of your car. Gu Lingqing looked at Bai Ya. Bai Ya and Gu Lingqing looked at each other. Let's deal with the Qin first. Is there anything strange in my apartment? The anti-surveillance in the apartment is normal, the security officer reported. Gu Lingqing held Bai Ya's hand and went back to the room. Tell me, what are you hiding today? I went to Su Jiaron's place this afternoon, Bai Ya said. And then? He found Xiaotian, our child. Now our child is in his hands, Bai Ya said. There was a strange bitterness and guilt in her heart. What did he ask you to do? Gu Lingqing frowned. Her eyes sharpened, and there was a murderous look in them. To choose between you and Xiaotian, Bai Ya explained. Now Gu Lingqing knew why she had been acting so strangely that day. You made the right decision. Gu Lingqing walked towards the door. Bai Ya held Gu Lingqing's arm worriedly. Su Jiaron said that if I told you, he would take Xiaotian away so that I would never be able to find him. Gu Lingqing, I think Su Jiaron has influence in your army. Don't act rashly. If I can't find Xiaotian, I won't be at ease for the rest of my life. Gu Lingqing turned to look at her. Her eyes were dark. How much time did you buy from him? 3 months. 3 months later, he arranged for me to fake my death. Gu Lingqing sneered. She was full of disgust for Su Jiaron. He really has a way. He can even fake his death. I will arrange it. Don't worry, we will definitely save our child. Bai Ya couldn't be at ease. She knew that she was gambling. If she won, everyone would be happy. If she lost, she was really afraid that she couldn't bear it. Gu Lingqing saw through Bai Ya's worry. He went forward and gave her a light kiss on her forehead. Just pretend that you didn't tell me anything. Do what you want to do. If you do this, Su Jiaron will see through you. Bai Ya nodded. She knew that what Gu Lingqing said was right, but she couldn't control her worry. Then I'll go pack my things first, Bai Ya said. She turned around and went to her room to pack her things. After a while, Gu Lingqing also came in. Is it done? Bai Ya asked worriedly. I have a team of dark shadows. They come and go without a trace. I've already given the order. What if Su Jiaron's men are in the dark shadows? What should we do? Bai Ya now trusted no one except Gu Lingqing. This is a secret mission. It won't get out. Don't worry, I will let you know if there is any news. Don't worry, the child is ours. I will definitely save him. I swear, Gu Lingqing promised. Bai Ya was a little relieved. However, after lying on the bed, she still couldn't fall asleep as she tossed and turned. Gu Lingqing gently placed his hand on her waist and pulled her into his arms. Xiaoya, have a good sleep. Only when you have a good sleep will you be able to fight with 100% of your energy. If you don't sleep now, you won't be of any help to us at all. Gu Lingqing said. Gu Lingqing's voice was deep, with the hoarseness of the night. She knew that what he said was right. She tried to persuade herself, but she couldn't sleep. She just couldn't. I'm going to the washroom. Bai Ya got up, took her bag, walked to the washroom and poured out a pill. She took the pill and looked at Gu Lingqing in the mirror. He looked at her worriedly. Bai Ya just smiled. Sleeping pills. This kind of medicine will cause dependence if you take it for a long time. I will try to control it in the future, but not today. My thoughts are a little messy and I can't sleep. Bai Ya passed by Gu Lingqing and lay on the bed. Gu Lingqing lay behind her and hugged her. How long have you been taking the sleeping pills? More than 3 years. Bai Ya didn't want to lie to him. Her head was very heavy, so she closed her eyes. Gu Lingqing frowned tightly, and his eyes were dark. He kissed her forehead. Don't take the medicine in the future. If you don't want to sleep, I won't sleep with you. Slowly, it will get better. What answered Gu Lingqing was her light breathing. He didn't know if she was asleep or unconscious. Gu Lingqing's heart ached, and his eyes were very deep. Chapter 239. When Bai Ya woke up, it was already 10 o'clock in the morning. Gu Lingqing wasn't by her side. She got up, brushed her teeth, washed her face and went out. Gu Lingqing wasn't in the living room either. She wanted to say goodbye to him before leaving, so she called Gu Lingqing. When are you leaving? Gu Lingqing asked her first. In the afternoon. It's already 10 o'clock now. I'll leave after eating. Will you come back for dinner? If you come back for dinner, I'll cook for you, Baiya said softly. Okay, I'll be there in an hour. Gu Lingqing hung up the phone and looked at the test report in his hands. There were 2 kinds of medicine in Baiya's bag. One was sleeping pills and the other was chlorpromazine. The main ingredient in chlorpromazine's tranquilizer was mainly used to treat patients with mania and other mental disorders. Why would Baiya carry this kind of medicine with her? He recalled that when Baiya quarreled with him, she seemed to say that she was sick too. He thought that she was referring to the injury on her chest. Now, it seemed that the illness Baiya was talking about might be a mental illness. What did he do in the past to hurt her so deeply? When Gu Lingqing arrived at the apartment, he smelled the aroma of food. He went to the kitchen. Baiya was busy wearing an apron. He went forward and hugged her slender body. Baiya turned around and looked at him. You're back. I'm done here. Go to the dining table and sit down. I'll scoop up the food and you can eat. Xiaoya. Gu Lingqing called out in a low voice, looking at her bright eyes and white teeth. His eyes were sparkling. I won't let you down in the future. Baiya's heart was filled with heat. I know that you're a person who does what you say. Let's go out and eat. Have a taste of my cooking. Let me take it, it's hot, Gu Lingqing said softly and let go of Baiya. Baiya watched as Gu Lingqing walked out with the dishes. Her eyes were red, and somehow she felt bitter. Although Gu Lingqing had no memories of the past, she felt that the man she had always loved was back. Gu Lingqing put down the bowl and went back to the kitchen. Seeing her tears, she held her hand worriedly and said, What's wrong? Was he scalded? I told you not to serve the dishes. He turned on the faucet and placed Baiya's hand under the faucet to rinse it. Baiya wanted to cry even more. I wasn't scolded. I just thought of the past. The past you too. Gu Lingqing turned off the tap and dried her hands with a towel. Maybe you've awakened my humanity. During the 3 years you were in America, I also felt that I was cold-blooded. We promised Tang Xiaojiu that we would help him find the murderer and bring the murderer to justice. If we don't find the murderer, we won't be together anymore. So we must find the murderer, Baiya said as she wiped her tears. Okay, we will definitely find the murderer, Gu Lingqing promised. Baiya hugged Gu Lingqing and buried her face in his chest. She felt his warmth and his strong heartbeat. She had experienced 3 years after 3 years before she finally got together with him. In the future, they would never be separated again. Gu Lingqing put his hand on her waist, and a dark look flashed across his eyes. Xiaoya, did I hurt you deeply in the past? I was the one who couldn't get over it. It's good that you're back, Baiya said in his arms. Gu Lingqing did not ask further. I'll bring the dishes. I want to eat just by smelling the aroma. By the way, I made your favorite, braised pork with preserved vegetables. Try it. Baiya opened the steamer. Let me carry it. Gu Lingqing covered her mouth with a towel and carried the braised pork with preserved vegetables out. She also made mapo tofu, kung pao chicken, and white gourd pork ribs. Gu Lingqing tasted the braised pork with preserved vegetables. Baiya looked at him eagerly. She wanted to know how he felt when he ate. Gu Lingqing nodded. It's delicious. It tastes better than the food I ate near your school. I must have liked your cooking in the past. Baiya smiled. If you like it, I'll cook for you often. And our child, Gu Lingqing said as she ate a few mouthfuls of rice. Speaking of the child, Baiya's heart skipped a beat. How's the investigation going on your side? The child shouldn't be with Su Jiaran, but my people will follow Su Jiaran 24/7. As soon as Su Jiaran goes to see our child, they'll immediately rescue him. What you need to do now is to keep your composure, Gu Lingqing explained. Baiya nodded and accompanied Gu Lingqing to eat. Her phone rang. It was Zhou Hailan. She picked it up in front of Gu Lingqing. Baiya, hello. I'm Zhou Hailan. May I ask if you found my child? Zhou Hailan asked softly. Baiya thought for a moment. I'm sorry. I don't have the time and mood for now. I'm going on a business trip. I'll be back in about 3 months. 3 months? I need 3 months. I'm sorry, Baya said in a low voice. It's okay. I know. I'm just making things difficult for you. Zhou Hailon hung up the phone. She spoke gently, but Baya felt that she was quite pitiful. She looked at Gu Lingqing. The person who called me just now was Zhou Hailon. You don't have to worry about her. I've already found a place for her to recuperate. When we're back in 3 months, you can treat her. There are priorities. She'll understand. After all, this matter of hers can't be rushed, Gu Lingqing explained. I heard a piece of news from Su Jiaran. There's no need to talk about it. I can't tell if it's true or not. He's not easy to deal with. I don't trust him. Gu Lingqing interrupted Baya's words. Baya lowered her head and ate 2 mouthfuls of rice. She felt that she should say it out loud. Su Jiaran said that Zhou Hailon has a child and the child is yours. That's impossible. I've never slept with Zhou Hailon, Gu Lingqing said with certainty. 6 years ago, you raped me because I was drugged by the enemy. I fainted and didn't know what happened. Su Jiaran said that they took your sperm and impregnated Zhou Hailon so that she could give birth to your child. He then threatened you. Whether the child is yours or not, you just have to go for a DNA test. Baya said as she looked at Gu Lingqing's expression. Gu Lingqing held Baya's hand. No matter who the child is, you're in my heart. I'll never let you down. She heard what Gu Lingqing said just now. Baya held Gu Lingqing's hand in return. I'm your wife. That's your child. Although the way he came to this world is a little special, if you decide to put that child by your side, I'll treat him as my own child and treat him wholeheartedly. Xiaoya, Gu Lingqing called. He remembered that Baya said before that she couldn't tolerate a grain of sand in her eyes. Chapter 240. He liked what she said. The road ahead may be full of thorns, but we will walk together hand in hand. Marriage was only the beginning of a new life, not the end. After dinner, he sent her to the train station. After greeting the station master, they took the train to Jinyuan City. Gu Lingqing had bought a first-class seat for her. When Baya was about to enter the train station, she realized that she could not bear to part with him, so she turned back to look at him. Gu Lingqing's lips curled up slightly. Even though they were not in the military, his posture was still straight. He looked at Baya, giving her a sense of security. No matter how reluctant she was, they had to part ways. Baya walked into the train and got on the train. Her phone rang. She opened it and saw Gu Lingqing's message. I've booked the presidential suite 2106 in Jinyuan Hotel for you. I'll stay next to you tomorrow, 2108. I've booked the entire 21st floor. The surveillance cameras will be rearranged today. I can't sleep tonight, so I'll be online at all times. Don't take any medicine. Baya looked at Gu Lingqing's message and felt a lump in her throat. Although it was just a few words, she could imagine how he would say it. Steady, strong, and gentle. He was really sitting on the action. All right, I won't take any medicine. Be careful on your way back. Contact me when you're free. Baya replied. The train started moving, and she looked out of the window. Her heart was no longer as sad as before. There was a trace of warmth, and she found the joy and meaning of life. She dialed an overseas number. The call was picked up. Senior, I'm Baya. I have something to ask you. 3 years ago, a friend of mine was injured in an explosion and lost his memory. Can he be treated with hypnosis? Baya asked humbly. There are several possibilities for memory loss. One is subjective consciousness, the second is brain damage, and the third is nerve compression. If it's subjective consciousness, it means that the patient has chosen to forget. Forced hypnosis can be used to treat it. If it's brain damage, then it'll be a matter for a brain specialist. The third is nerve compression. It depends on what's compressing the nerve. It could be a tumor, a blood clot, or a fragment. I suggest that we go to the neurology department first to determine what the problem is. I understand. Thank you, senior brother. Then I'll hang up first, Baya said politely. Good luck. Oh yes, I have a seminar in a country next month. You should come too. Brother Sher invited. Next month? All right, give me more time. Don't leave after the conference. I need your help. Baya urged him to stay. Hee, you are stronger than me now. Do you need my help? How can I be compared to you? Senior brother, you are really good at joking. All right, I won't talk to you anymore. Call me in advance when you come next month. I will make arrangements for the seminar. See you when you come. Baya felt that the signal on his phone wasn't good. Therefore, he said what he wanted to express. All right, goodbye. She hung up the phone and leaned back in her chair, half lying down. In the past, she thought that the person Gu Lingqing liked was Zhou Hailan. She didn't care if Gu Lingqing missed her or not. If he missed her, she would feel embarrassed. Her pride couldn't take it. Now, she knew that the person Gu Lingqing liked was her. There were still some beautiful and charming memories between her and Gu Lingqing. She wanted him to remember that their days in the future would only get better day by day. Baya's lips twitched as she closed her eyes. The train traveled for more than 3 hours. At 17:30 p.m., Baya's phone rang. She saw that it was Cheng Jinrong's call and picked it up. What's up? Have you arrived at Jinyuan City? Cheng Jinrong asked enthusiastically. Not yet. I'm on the train. When will you arrive? I will pick you up at the train station and book a hotel for you, Cheng Jinrong said with a smile. There's no need. I have already booked a room online. Thank you. Since you've already booked a room, I won't force you. However, since this is your first time coming to Jinyuan City, I must treat you to dinner. Otherwise, it would be rude of me. After all, you came to Jinyuan City because of me. Baya smiled. You're right. You are the one who introduced me to this big business. I should treat you to dinner. I will arrive at Jinyuan City in about an hour. Come and pick me up. I will treat you to dinner. Let's talk about it when we meet. How could Cheng Jinrong let a girl treat him? Baya hung up the phone. Actually, she had a good impression of Cheng Jinrong. He was just a businessman, and his ex-girlfriend's father was an expert in geography. She would need his help eventually. An hour later, Baya dragged her luggage out of the train station. Cheng Jinrong waved at her enthusiastically when he saw her. Baya smiled and walked towards Cheng Jinrong. He took Baya's luggage from her. I will take you to dinner first. After that, I will send you back to the hotel. This is your first time in Jinyuan City, right? Baya smiled and did not say a word. She had been to Jinyuan City 3 years ago. At that time, Gu Lingqing was on a mission in Jinyuan City. It was in Jinyuan City that Gu Lingqing lost her memory. Baya almost died. Jinyuan City was the place where she was sad. Cheng Jinrong placed the luggage in the trunk and opened the door to the front passenger seat. Baya sat down and fastened her seatbelt. Cheng Jinrong got into the driver's seat and introduced to Baya. Jinyuan City's lion's head and bamboo-wrapped pork are delicious. The most famous restaurant for these 2 dishes is Savant's restaurant. Do you have any taboos? No. Baya said calmly. She looked ahead and paused for a while. Then she asked, is your ex-girlfriend's father the best researcher in ancient addresses? Is there anyone else? It's a circle. People in the circle know people in the circle. My ex-girlfriend's father knows more about this. Baya glanced at him and asked casually, why did you break up with your ex-girlfriend? I have a bad temper. She couldn't stand it after a long time, so she broke up with me. I agreed, Cheng Jinrong said concisely. Baya smiled. Does your current girlfriend know about your ex-girlfriend's existence? Cheng Jinrong was silent for a while. Are you trying to dissect me? From your expression, I can tell that you are a little regretful. You probably have feelings for your ex-girlfriend. You are still in contact with her father and they are very friendly. This can only mean that your ex-girlfriend or her family also has feelings for you. So, I'm very curious. Does your girlfriend know about it? Cheng Jinrong's face turned serious. She knows. My girlfriend is my ex-girlfriend's best friend and also my subordinate. Cheng Jinrong explained and looked at Baya. But when I went to City A to look for you, I broke up with my girlfriend. I'm single now. Looks like you will get back together with your ex-girlfriend. Baya guessed. Cheng Jinrong's eyes flashed with a strange emotion. We'll see. His phone rang and he picked it up. Baya saw that he did not look well. Cheng Jinrong hung up and looked at Baya. I'm sorry, I can't treat you to dinner. My ex-girlfriend was murdered. Chapter 241. I'll go with you. I've helped the FBI solve a case before. I hope I can help you. Consider it a report for introducing the client to you, Baya said. First of all, that was what she thought. Second of all, Chung Jinrong's ex-girlfriend's father had a special identity. She wanted to use this opportunity to get to know him better. Sorry to trouble you, Chung Jinrong said apologetically. It's okay. Half an hour later, Chung Jinrong appeared at the private housing area in the city center. Baya observed her surroundings. The outer walls of the private houses here looked very old, and each house was 20 meters apart. These people had fences in front of their houses, sat in a parking space, and even planted vegetables. There were street lights and surveillance cameras. The police came to Chung Jinrong's ex-girlfriend's house and even set up a fence. Chung Jinrong wanted to go in but was stopped by the police. The police said sternly, "The police are collecting evidence. This is the crime scene. Do not approach. I'm the deceased's boyfriend. I have the right to see her," Chung Jinrong said angrily. "Jinrong, Jinrong," the deceased's mother shouted. Chung Jinrong ignored the police and rushed in. Baya followed behind Chung Jinrong. The police hesitated and Baya went in. "Jinrong, Xiao Wei died so tragically. Who wants to kill her?" Xiao Wei's mother cried. "Where is Xiao Wei?" Chung Jinrong asked seriously. "In the room." Xiao Wei's father frowned and lowered his head. Baya glanced at Xiao Wei's father's face. He was smoking and his hand was trembling. "Old man, who is it? Who wants to kill our daughter? We don't have any grudges with them." Xiao Wei's mother couldn't figure it out. Xiao Wei's father had a complicated look in his eyes. "I'm going to wash the cigarette." Baya looked at Chung Jinrong. Chung Jinrong had already entered the room. Xiao Wei was lying on the bed. She was stabbed in the heart. She was holding her phone tightly. The room was not messy at all and there were no signs of a fight. Chung Jinrong wanted to hug Xiao Wei but was stopped by the police. "Don't touch the deceased. You will destroy the evidence." Chung Jinrong paused and looked at Baya. His eyes were red. "Is that so?" Baya nodded. "Don't touch the evidence at the crime scene. The more the better. In order to find the murderer as soon as possible, please leave," the police shouted. Chung Jinrong walked out of the room in a daze. "Jinrong, you must help Xiao Wei find the murderer," Xiao Wei's mother said as she held Chung Jinrong's hand. "We'll definitely find it." Chung Jinrong comforted her and looked at Baya pleadingly. Baya nodded and went out. She saw Xiao Wei's father on the phone. He was so emotional that he even smashed his phone and hit his head against a tree. "Xiao Tang," he said. "Xiao Xiao Xiao Ya. Gu Xiao Tu. Baya. Cheng I'm. Xiao Cheng Yen. Lu Cheng Cheng. Su. Not yet." "Chung Jinrong's ex-girlfriend is dead," Baya said solemnly. She glanced at Xiao Wei's father, who was still banging his head against the tree. "I don't think it's LV Xingzhou. Firstly, the project is about to start. If something happens now, it will affect the progress of the project. Secondly, they still need the deceased's father, the geologist. They won't do anything to his daughter," Gu Lingqing guessed. "I think the same as you, but I can't see clearly because I'm closely involved. I've observed Xiao Wei's father. He feels very guilty, remorseful, and angry. I think he might go to the police station to report LV Xingzhou." Baya walked toward Xiao Wei's father. "It's impossible for him to report LV Xingzhou. The most he can do is to negotiate with LV Xingzhou. If he does that, not only will he alert the enemy, but he will also hide the murderer even deeper," Gu Lingqing said anxiously. "I know, Gu Lingqing. Go to Jinyuan City's police station and tell them that I want to intervene in this matter," Baya said. He hung up and ran towards Xiao Wei's father. "Uncle, don't be like this." Baya held onto Xiao Wei's father. Xiao Wei's father was agitated. "I did this to myself and went against my conscience to earn money. But Xiao Wei is innocent. My daughter doesn't even dare to kill a fish. Why must God be so cruel to her? She's only 25 years old, she's in her prime." "Uncle, calm down. Give me 3 days. I'll definitely help you find the murderer, Bai Ye promised. Xiao Wei's father looked at Bai Ye in astonishment. How can you help me find the murderer? Who are you? I don't know you. My name is Bai Ye. You can find my information on the internet. I've helped the FBI solve several major cases. I've also assisted many police departments in solving cases. I promise you that I'll find the murderer within 3 days, Bai Ye explained. Xiao Wei's father looked at Bai Ye suspiciously. I'm also Cheng Jinrong's friend. On the way here, Jinrong told me that he still has feelings for Xiao Wei. Xiao Wei is Cheng Jinrong's lover. I'll definitely find the murderer, Bai Ye continued when he saw that Xiao Wei's father didn't trust him. Xiao Wei's father looked at the door and met Cheng Jinrong's gaze. Cheng Jinrong sensed that something was wrong. He walked over and asked, Uncle, what happened to your forehead? Your girlfriend's father banged his head against a tree. He's too emotional, Bai Ye explained. Uncle, Bai Ye is a famous expert. She can definitely help us find the murderer. Don't be too emotional, Cheng Jinrong comforted. Give me 3 days, Bai Ye said in a deep voice. Xiao Wei's father nodded. All right, I'll calm down first. I want to see who killed my daughter. I want him to die with her. I'll send him back to the house first, Cheng Jinrong explained to Bai Ye. He put his arm around Xiao Wei's father's shoulder and went back to the room. Bai Ye felt that there was not much point in staying. She would see all the evidence that the police had collected tomorrow. She was not familiar with Cheng Jinrong, and she was even less familiar with Xiao Wei's family. It would only be awkward if she stayed. Also, since Cheng Jinrong knew that there was treasure on that piece of land, he would not let Xiao Wei's father act rashly. However, he did not know that Lu Xingzhou and Lu Liang City were in cahoots. The company was also from Lu Liang City. In the end, his efforts would be in vain. Bai Ye did not enter the room. She got on the taxi and sent a message to Cheng Jinrong. I'll go back first. I'll contact you tomorrow. All right. Sorry. I wanted to treat you to a meal, but I made you hungry, Cheng Jinrong replied politely. I understand. You didn't want to. Bai Ye went to the hotel that Gu Lingqing had booked. She went back to her room and laid on the bed tiredly. She thought of Gu Lingqing and called him. Have you reached the hotel? Gu Lingqing asked. Chapter 242. I'm already handling the paperwork. It should be approved within 3 days. I'll use my connections tomorrow, and it should be approved in the afternoon. I'll call you after it's approved. If there are no problems, I should be at your place tomorrow, Gu Lingqing said. Bai Ye smiled. She was quite excited at the thought of him coming tomorrow. They had just separated today, but she felt that they had been separated for a long time. Have you eaten? Bai Ye asked with concern. Yes, I've eaten. I've already made a call. Jinyuan City's police chief will pick you up at the entrance tomorrow. You'll be in charge of this case. All right. I'll tell you the details tomorrow after I read the documents. I've checked today, and there are surveillance cameras outside their room. If the surveillance cameras are not broken, not only will it be easy to find the culprit, there might even be a surprise. Okay, Gu Lingqing replied. There's still 1 minute left. Open the door. Ah! Bai Ye couldn't stop her heart from beating wildly. Could it be that Gu Lingqing was here? She couldn't wait to get out of bed. She walked to the door and looked through the peephole. There was no one. You're here today? Bai Ye asked directly. No, I guess that you must have not eaten yet. Jinyuan City's lion's head, bamboo-wrapped pork, and roasted pigeon are pretty good. I've booked a table at Savant's restaurant for you. Don't skip meals in the future, Gu Lingqing said gently. When did you book the table? So fast. Bai Ye was surprised. I made the decision after I talked to you on the phone. I guessed that you would return to the hotel first. Lion's head and bamboo-wrapped pork are the famous dishes of Savant's restaurant. They've already prepared them. The pigeon is also half-ripe, so it'll be very fast. Just as Gu Lingqing finished his sentence, the doorbell rang. Gu Lingqing laughed. Bai Ye could clearly hear his laughter through the phone. I should be here. If you want to eat and can't sleep after eating, you're welcome to call me. Gu Lingqing's voice was filled with affection. Baya felt warm in her heart. He was so considerate of her. How could she bear to keep him up from sleeping? Got it, Baya answered, hung up the phone, and opened the door. A man in uniform stood at the door and said politely, "Hello, your takeout." "Thank you." Baya took the food and placed it on the table before opening it. Gu Lingqing ordered a bamboo-wrapped pork, a meatball, a roasted pigeon, a mapo tofu, and a bottle of milk for her. This man was as meticulous as dust. She smiled, full of happiness, and ate a lot. He took a shower and went to bed. He didn't call Gu Lingqing. Instead, he turned on the TV and watched casually. His cell phone rang. She saw that it was an unfamiliar caller ID and answered it suspiciously. "What do you mean by this? Did you blacklist me? Did you change your mind?" Su Jiaran went straight to the point. Gu Lingqing blocked him, Baya explained. "Aren't you separated from Gu Lingqing now? Why are you so obedient to him? Why did you blacklist him even after you separated?" Su Jiaran said sarcastically. "Aren't you very resourceful? I just arrived in Jinyuan City today. My friend's ex-girlfriend died, so I've long forgotten that you're on the blacklist," Baya said in an unpleasant tone. "Baya, don't tell me that you asked me for 3 more months just to cure LV Xingzhou's son?" Su Jiaran was suspicious. "He promised me so much money. I'm going to be with my son in the future, so I must earn more money." Baya didn't deny it. "You better not have any other ideas. Otherwise, I might not be able to protect you. Xiaotian misses you. Do you want to video chat with him?" Su Jiaran said the second half of the sentence in a gentle tone. "Yes." Baya immediately sat up on the bed. "Answer it," Su Jiaran said. Baya immediately accepted the video call and saw the little person on the screen. "Mom, I miss you so much. Why didn't you come to see me today?" Xiaotian asked in a childish voice. "I'm sorry, Xiaotian. I'm on a business trip in Jinyuan City. I'll be back in 3 months. At that time, we can be together every day." Baya kept staring at Xiaotian. "Mom, look at the painting I drew today." Xiaotian placed the painting in front of the camera. Baya saw the golden sun, green trees, red apples, green lawns, colorful flowers, and colorful butterflies in the painting. On a road, a man, a woman, and a child walked hand in hand. The woman had the word Mom written on it, the child had the word Me written on it, and the man had the word Daddy Sue written on it. Baya took a deep breath. Children's thoughts were very simple. They could express their emotions through painting. When the painting was colorful, it meant that they were in a good mood. When the painting was dark and colorless, it meant that they were in a bad mood. Su Jiaran treated him well. But she believed that Gu Lingqing would treat Xiaotian better. After all, Xiaotian was her and Gu Lingqing's child. "Well done," Baya praised. "Mom, Dad Su not only let me paint, but he also taught me martial arts. In the future, I can not only protect myself, but I can also protect you," Xiaotian said sweetly. "Xiaotian, where are you now?" Baya asked. "I'm..." Before Xiaotian could say anything, the video call was hung up. Baya was annoyed. "I shouldn't have been so hasty." Su Jiaran sent another video call. Baya answered. Seeing that it was Su Jiaran and not Xiaotian, she couldn't hide her deep disappointment. "Where did you take Xiaotian?" Su Jiaran sneered. He picked up a syringe and waved it in front of the camera. "Baya, do you know what this is?" "What's this?" Baya was nervous. To put it simply, it's a virus. The person who is injected with it will live a life worse than death. In the end, he will bleed to death from his 7 orifices. So, don't have any weird ideas. Xiaotian can't take it, Su Jiaran warned. "Su Jiaran, are you crazy? Xiaotian likes you so much. Why are you so cruel to him?" Baya said anxiously. "I like you so much. Are you cruel to me too? As long as you don't have any weird ideas, me, you and Xiaotian, the 3 of us will live happily together." Su Jiaran forced a smile. That smile was meaningful. It was as if he had seen through something. He just didn't say it and waited for her to jump in. Baya's heart skipped a beat. Xiaotian was in his hands. It was difficult for her to move. What if she had something on Su Jiaran? Then, her chances of winning would be higher. I know. That's all for now. I'm sleepy. Good night. Baya didn't wait for Su Jiaran to speak. She hung up the phone and threw it on the bedside table. Her good mood turned sour again because of Su Jiaran's call. Chapter 243. In the past, she would bear all the problems by herself. No matter how big the problem was, she would hide it in her heart and suppress it again and again. Now, she had someone she could trust and complain to. Baya dialed Gu Lingqing's number. He picked up very quickly. Your call came later than I expected. Are you busy now? Baya was also worried that she would disturb his work. I remember I told you before that in my heart, you are the most important. I will deal with your problem first and then consider other things. Baya slightly raised the corner of her mouth, and her eyes were filled with emotion. In her impression, Gu Lingqing was not a romantic person, but his words always made her feel sweet in her heart, like melted chocolate. The female lead was learning how to drive. When she saw the male lead repairing his car, she felt suspicious and worried. He was seriously injured. Lingqing, have your people found out where little Tian is? Baya asked. Not yet. They haven't reported to me. Su Jiaran called me just now. He is with little Tian. I even video chatted with him. Didn't your people follow him? Baya was very surprised. Gu Lingqing was also surprised. You said that Su Jiaran is with little Tian now? I will call you back later. Gu Lingqing hung up the phone and called in Ying's people. Su Jiaran took off the earphone and looked at the air in front of him pessimistically. His charming eyes did not hide the pain. In the end, Baya still chose Gu Lingqing. He told Gu Lingqing about this and abandoned him and little Tian. Since that was the case, there was no need for him to be merciful. Su Jiaran raised the corner of his mouth, and his smile was extremely cold. Come on, let's fight. Asterisk, where is Su Jiaran now? Gu Lingqing asked. And Ying's people answered. At home. He didn't go out today? Are you sure he is at home now? Gu Lingqing was suspicious. I'm sure. What's wrong? The person from Dark Shadow was puzzled. The child is at his home. Go in and check tonight. Remember, don't be discovered. Gu Lingqing ordered. Yes. After the call, Gu Lingqing called Baya. I suspect that the child has always been with Su Jiaran. Sleep well tonight and wait for my news tomorrow. Baya replied. Okay. However, she was worried about little Tian and worried about his safety. How could she fall asleep? She tossed and turned on the bed. The feeling of not being able to fall asleep was too bad. She changed into her sportswear and running shoes. She took a bottle of water and went to the hotel gym to jog so that she could fall asleep more easily. The night continued. The leader of Shadow entered Su Jiaran's house and pushed open the door to Su Jiaran's room. He saw Su Jiaran lying on the bed, sleeping soundly. He pushed open the door next to him, but there was no one there. He searched the whole room, but he didn't find the child. He felt strange. He heard some strange sounds in the quiet night. He lay on the ground, and the sound was more obvious, like the sound of a faucet. The person from Dark Shadow understood. He crawled along the ground and searched for more than an hour before he found the door to the basement. He left Su Jiaran's house, got into his car, and called Gu Lingqing. What do you say? Gu Lingqing hadn't slept yet. He had been waiting for An Ying's call. He took a look at the time. It was already 3 o'clock in the morning. I found it. There is a basement in Su Jiaran's room. The child should be in there. Should we rescue the child now? Please give us instructions. Rescue him, but don't alarm Su Jiaran, Gu Lingqing ordered. Su Jiaran was a cunning person. He had to be careful in everything he did. The person from Dark Shadow entered Su Jiaran's house again and went into the basement. He saw a child lying on the bed. He was worried that the child would suddenly wake up Su Jiaran. He sprayed a little ether on a handkerchief, covered the child's nose for 10 seconds, and carried the child. Xiao Tian was still sleeping. The person from Dark Shadow carried Xiao Tian out and put him in the car. He called Gu Lingqing. Chief, I've brought the child out. Where should we take him now? Please give us instructions. Gu Lingqing hesitated. He was worried that if they went to Blue Sky Courtyard, Su Jiaran would bring people to snatch the child. Anyway, the child belonged to him and Bai Ya. Bai Ya was his legitimate wife. It would be safer to put the child in the military base. Bring him to the military base. 2 hours later, Gu Lingqing saw Xiao Tian. At first glance, he really looked like Bai Ya, and also a little like him. Most of the time, he looked the same as Bai Ya. Chief, please give us instructions. The person from Dark Shadow asked for instructions. You've worked hard. Go back and have a good rest. Gu Lingqing looked at Xiao Tian and said, Yes. The person from Dark Shadow left Gu Lingqing's apartment. Gu Lingqing covered Xiao Tian with a quilt and looked at the time. It was 5:30 in the morning. He didn't know if Bai Ya had woken up. He thought for a while and didn't call Bai Ya. Instead, he sent a message. Xiao Tian has been rescued. He's safe in the military base now. Bai Ya couldn't sleep at all. Even after running for an hour and lying on the bed, she still couldn't sleep. When she saw Gu Lingqing's message, she sat up. She couldn't hide the joy in her eyes. She called Gu Lingqing. When Gu Lingqing saw Bai Ya's call, he immediately lowered his volume. He only answered the call after he felt relieved. He lowered his voice and said, Did I wake you up? No. Xiao Tian wasn't injected with the virus when he was with you, right? Bai Ya said worriedly. I don't think so. He slept very well. You didn't wake up. Don't tell me you didn't sleep for the whole night? Gu Lingqing said worriedly. No, I woke up too early. Can I take a look at Xiao Tian? Just 1 minute. Just 1 minute. Bai Ya begged. She couldn't believe it was real. She actually rescued Xiao Tian so easily. Everything seemed to be in a dream. You can video call me later. Gu Lingqing said dotingly. Bai Ya pressed the video call button. Gu Lingqing picked up the call. He pushed the door open and entered the room. The camera was pointed at Xiao Tian, who was sleeping soundly. Bai Ya covered her mouth and smiled. Because she was too happy, her eyes were filled with tears. They were tears of happiness. She and Gu Lingqing could finally be together in peace. She always felt uneasy without Xiao Tian being rescued. Gu Lingqing saw Bai Ya crying. He smiled, stood up and walked out of the door. Now that you've seen him, you should be relieved. It's still early. Sleep a little more. Okay. Bai Ya replied. Hurry up and sleep. Gu Lingqing hung up and kept his phone. He was also prepared to sleep for 2 hours. There were more important things to do tomorrow. Chapter 244. Gu Lingqing had a bad feeling. It wasn't 6 in the morning yet. If the 111 Special Disciplinary Team didn't have evidence, they wouldn't come. The 111 Special Disciplinary Team was responsible for monitoring the activities of spies. And Ying's rescue of Xiao Tian was too smooth. It was so smooth that he felt there was something wrong. Sure enough. Let them in, Gu Lingqing said in a low voice. 8 people from the 111 Special Disciplinary Team came. They all looked serious and unhappy. They showed their credentials to Gu Lingqing. Someone reported that you took away a name list by force. What name list? Gu Lingqing didn't know. The Special Disciplinary Team looked at the guard. Gu Lingqing waved his hand. Leave. The guard knew it was a military secret. He didn't dare to stay. He left quickly and closed the door. The Special Disciplinary Team said, It's a name list of the spies from the Ministry of State Security. Why do I need this name list? Gu Lingqing asked. So, we suspect that you are also working as a spy for other countries, the Special Disciplinary Team said seriously. My father is the vice president. I'm a general, the chief of the special forces. I'm a popular candidate for the presidential election. Do you think I would be a spy? Gu Lingqing retorted. Chief, we're just doing our job, the Special Disciplinary Team said. Sure, please, Gu Lingqing said. He sat on the sofa and closed his eyes. The Special Disciplinary Team was checking the room. The head of the Special Disciplinary Team was accompanying Gu Lingqing in the living room. He looked very serious. After all, Gu Lingqing's identity was special. Chief, I found it. One of the special disciplinary team walked out of the room where Xiao Tian was sleeping. He held a vase in his hand. It's in the vase. The leader of the special discipline inspection team took out the name list and looked at Gu Lingqing. We'll have to trouble you to come with us, Chief. Gu Lingqing looked at the leader suspiciously. He frowned. I don't even know what you're holding in your hand. How can you be so sure that it's the name list you're looking for? The name list is wrapped in special paper, and the paper pulp is also special. Before I came, I received the outline of the name list, said the leader of the special discipline inspection team. Was it your people who put the things in my vase to frame me? Gu Lingqing said harshly. The disciplinary inspector's face turned pale. I didn't. How could I dare? I can't even get my hands on this name list. How could I frame them? Sir, please come with us. If he isn't a spy, he will definitely prove your innocence. But if you don't come with us now, there will be a major agreement, the leader of the special discipline inspection team said. Gu Lingqing stood up, straightened her clothes, took out her mobile phone, dialed a number, and said concisely, "Help me take care of the kid in my apartment. We'll talk about it when I come back." After the video call with Xiao Tian, Baya fell asleep in a daze. She slept until 10 o'clock in the morning when she was woken up by Chang Jinrong's phone call. As he hadn't slept well, he had a splitting headache. He sat up, massaged his temples, and answered the call. Are you at the police station now? I'm here, Chang Jinrong said politely. Baya remembered that she had to go to the police station today. I'm sorry, I'll come over now. Baya hung up the phone and went to the washroom. She splashed cold water on her face to wake herself up. She brushed her teeth, washed up, put on some light makeup, and tied her hair up. Just as she was about to go out, her mobile phone rang again. She saw that it was an unknown number and suspected that it was Su Jiaran, so she hung up the phone. Now that Xiao Tian had been rescued, she didn't want to have any contact with Su Jiaran anymore. Su Jiaran was furious when he was hung up on. He sneered, and a malicious look appeared in his eyes, giving rise to a wave of hatred. Baya was burning the bridge after crossing the river, right? In that case, he didn't need to show any mercy. Su Jiaran sent a message over with a devilish charm. Do you want to see Gu Lingqing die? When Baya saw the message, her heart skipped a beat. She quickly called Gu Lingqing. Her call was painful, but no one picked up. She had a bad feeling, so she called Su Jiaran back. Su Jiaran hung up on her. Baya's heart was beating fast. She called Su Jiaran again, but Su Jiaran's phone was turned off. Baya walked out of the hotel in a daze. She pulled Su Jiaran's number back into the whitelist and called Su Jiaran's previous phone. Su Jiaran picked up the call and said in a strange tone, You're not calm now. Did Gu Lingqing say something about you? Su Jiaran, you were the one who sent that message, right? What do you mean by this? What do you want to do to Gu Lingqing? Baya questioned, holding back her anger that was about to explode. He was really like a haunting ghost that kept on haunting them, making them irritated. I warned you before, don't think about it. I've been waiting for you for more than 3 years with all my heart. What about you? What did you do to me? Su Jiaran was even angrier than Baya. You can't force feelings. When you didn't like me, I waited for you for 3 years. Did I take revenge on you? Did I hurt your woman? Baya was very upset. That's because you don't have the ability to take revenge, and you don't have the ability to hurt me. You're just a coward. What do you want? What did you do to Gu Lingqing? Baya raised her voice. When you told Gu Lingqing that little Tian was in my hands, did you think about the result? When you and Gu Lingqing set me up, you should have already thought about this. I'm not someone you can set up and play with. Chapter 245. How could this be? How could this be? Wasn't that piece of land supposed to hide the treasure? When did it become a military weapon? Could it be that the treasure was a military weapon? That didn't make sense. That was an ancient map. There were no military weapons in ancient times. Could it be that this was a trap set up by Su Jiaran? Which part of the plan went wrong? Baya pulled herself together. I'll contact you later. She hung up the phone and walked out of the hotel. At the same time, she called Cheng Jinrong. Cheng Jinrong, I want to ask, where is the piece of land you wanted to buy? Can you send me the address? Baya asked anxiously. What's wrong? Is that piece of land the key to solving the case? Cheng Jinrong was confused. A lot of military weapons were found on that piece of land. Do you know about this? Baya asked as she walked to the roadside. You said that a lot of military weapons were found on that piece of land? How is that possible? Do you mean swords, guns, or bombs? Cheng Jinrong asked in confusion. It should be guns and explosives. I don't know the details, so I want to go and take a look, Baya said. Okay, I got it. Where are you? I'll come to pick you up and bring you there, Cheng Jinrong said as he ran to his car. I'm at the entrance of Jinyuan International Hotel. I'll be there in 10 minutes. Baya hung up the phone and called Gu Lingqing again. She still couldn't get through. She called Song Shiyu, and Song Shiyu answered. Baya, ever since you got together with our Lingqing, nothing good has ever happened to him. 3 years ago he almost died. Now, he almost died again, and he even lost his reputation. You caused my Lingqing's death. Are you happy? Song Shiyu scolded as soon as she answered the phone. Baya's heart skipped a beat. It seemed that Su Jiaran was telling the truth. What's the situation in Lingqing now? It's none of your business. I'll tell you, can you help? No, you will only be a burden. Oh right, did you frame Lingqing on purpose? Song Shiyu was even angrier. Gu Lingqing is my husband. Why would I hurt him? Baya said with certainty. Did you tell Lingqing that Tian is your child? Song Shiyu asked. Baya was stunned. That's what I said. How is little Tian now? You're still thinking about that bastard? Lingqing said he went to Su Jiaran's place to look for his child, not to steal the confidential list. However, through the DNA test, the child is not Lingqing's at all. Now they think Lingqing is lying. Very good. Also, are you the one who wants the Lingqing syndrome? Using that piece of land in Jinyuan City? Song Shiyu asked angrily. Baya's mind went blank. How was it possible that little Tian was not Gu Lingqing's child? Could it be that the person who raped her 6 years ago was not Gu Lingqing? Her world collapsed at this moment. You don't dare to admit it? That piece of land is full of military weapons. Lingqing still refuses to tell me the reason why he requisitioned that piece of land. I've asked many lawyers. The possibility of Lingqing being identified as a spy is 95%. You killed him. Baya, you will die a horrible death, Song Shiyu cursed. Baya's arm dropped, and her phone fell to the ground. How could this be? How could this be? How could this be? Gu Lingqing, Gu Lingqing. She couldn't let anything happen to Gu Lingqing. Baya immediately picked up her phone and called Su Jiaran. What do you want? Su Jiaran sneered. Baya, why don't you believe me every time? You have to ask around before you believe me. Why isn't little Tian Gu Lingqing's child? Baya asked in shock. If you don't break your promise and get together with me, you will naturally see your biological son. Little Tian is just a test. I spent 3 years to make little Tian look like you and Gu Lingqing. Do you think it was easy for me? Su Jiaran said coldly. Baya felt a chill run down her spine. It was her. It was really her. She killed Gu Lingqing. She was deceived. She was like a stupid idiot. She judged that little Tian was her and Gu Lingqing's child based on his appearance. She didn't even do a DNA test. It was her. It was her. It was all her fault. What about that piece of land? What's going on? After asking this question, Baya pressed the record button. Su Jiaran laughed. How would I know? Gu Lingqing is a spy or the leader of a terrorist organization. It's normal for him to collect some firearms. You're lying. I asked Gu Lingqing to buy that piece of land. Am I a spy too? Baya was agitated. Xiaoya, you pressed the record button. Are you still going to betray me? It doesn't matter if you betray me, but Gu Lingqing must die, Su Jiaran said with certainty. Baya broke down. Her every move was under Su Jiaran's control. How did he do it? Baya turned off the record button. How do you know all of this? The phone you use is specially made by me. There's no chip in it. I connect it wirelessly. When you're in the military, there's anti-surveillance equipment in the military. As long as I don't connect to your phone wirelessly, I won't be monitored. But once you leave the military, I can monitor your phone wirelessly 24 hours a day. I can hear the status of your phone, the words you say, and the messages you send to Gu Lingqing, Su Jiaran explained. He was bored. He had given up on Bai Ye. Her coldness and heartlessness ignited his ambition for revenge. This was good too. He was no longer tied down by his emotions. He could do whatever he wanted to do. Not letting Xing Buchuan go was also an explanation to his father. Bai Ye was dead silent. She had completely surrendered to fate. What do I have to do to let Gu Lingqing go? Divorce Gu Lingqing and let Gu Lingqing marry Zhou Hailan. Then, I'll let Gu Lingqing go, Su Jiaran said coldly. Su Jiaran said coldly, you better be fast. Within a week, Gu Lingqing will definitely be convicted. How can I be sure that you'll save him? Bai Ye didn't trust Su Jiaran and asked. Bai Ye, you don't have a choice. You don't trust me, and I don't trust you either. If I save him, what if you continue to pester him? So before I save him, I'll inject you with the virus. Only I have the antidote. If you agree, come to my house. If not, it's up to you. I'm hanging up. Su Jiaran hung up. Actually, she didn't care about the virus. If Gu Lingqing died, she wouldn't be alive either. Chapter 246. Bai Ye. Bai Ye stood by the side of the road in a daze for a long time. She only came back to her senses when Cheng Jinrong called her. She looked at Cheng Jinrong in the car, still in a trance. She was reviewing everything she had done wrong. Human confidence came from ignorance, and human complacency also came from ignorance. She thought that she was very smart, and she even thought that telling Gu Lingqing about little Tian was the right choice. Unexpectedly, it turned out to be a conspiracy. She thought that she was smart, that she was not capable enough, that she was nothing, and that she thought that she could analyze things clearly. All her past actions now seemed more like that of a clown. She struggled and lingered on, but all her actions were under the control of others. It didn't matter if she died. There was no joy in life, and no sorrow in death. However, because of Gu Lingqing's trust in her, Gu Lingqing's reputation was ruined, and his life was in danger. It was all her fault. She shouldn't have appeared again. Song Shiyu was right. After she appeared, nothing good happened to Gu Lingqing. If she hadn't appeared, Gu Lingqing wouldn't have liked her anymore. He would have been with Zhou Hailan naturally, and their child would have been found soon. Zhou Hailan also had meritorious service. Since they were able to be together before, it meant that they appreciated each other and were attracted to each other. He would have been very happy, and his career would have been very smooth. She was an unlucky person. Cheng Jinrong noticed that Bai Ye was acting strangely. He walked to Bai Ye, but she stood still. Bai Ye, Cheng Jinrong called out. Bai Ye looked at him, and the mist condensed into tears, rolling down from her eyes. She was too guilty, too blaming herself, and too sorry. What's wrong? Cheng Jinrong asked worriedly. Bai Ye shook her head. Let's go to the construction site first. Okay. Cheng Jinrong opened the front passenger seat. Bai Ye walked in and put on her seatbelt. Cheng Jinrong was driving. It'll take us an hour and a half to get there. Bai Ye replied. She looked out of the window and her tears couldn't stop flowing. Cheng Jinrong glanced at Bai Ye. Did you quarrel with your husband again? Bai Ye said nothing. If you feel pain, then let's separate. Otherwise, it will worsen your condition. There are plenty of fish in the sea. Life is about finding a companion and walking with him. Love grows with time. Slowly, the love for the past will fade, and you will accept the people who accompany you. A person's heart changes. Didn't your love transfer from your ex-husband to your current husband? Similarly, the love you have for your husband will also be transferred to another person. After a year, the problem will no longer be a problem. Cheng Jinrong comforted her. Bai Ye smiled bitterly. Even if she had to spend the rest of her life alone, she would never look for another man. Her love was all given to a man called Gu Lingqing. Even if she didn't get together with this man, She would be happy as long as he was happy. When she was young, she would still read novels. The love in the novels was too perfect, and it highlighted the cruelty of reality. In reality, how many people who loved each other were together, and how many people who were together loved each other? After people who loved each other got together, how long would this relationship last? She wanted to cry, but what could she change after crying? Nothing could be changed. If Bai Bing had committed suicide with her, she wouldn't have been saved by her neighbor. Perhaps, she wouldn't have been able to see so much cruelty. She would have died with her mother, and there would have been warmth in her heart. At least when she died, she wouldn't have been so lonely with her mother. She wouldn't have been like this, unable to call for help and living a life worse than death every day. Cheng Jinrong saw that Bai Ye's emotions weren't right. He stopped at the side and looked at Bai Ye worriedly. Bai Ye cried louder and louder. Her crying made Cheng Jinrong's eyes wet. If you feel uncomfortable, you can tell me. You'll feel better. Why don't we compete and see who's more miserable? Maybe you'll feel better, Cheng Jinrong smiled and persuaded. In the past, she was sad because she couldn't get over it. She felt that the whole world had wronged her. Now she was sad because she had let down Gu Lingqing. All the mistakes were her own. In the past, she didn't trust Gu Lingqing, so she was sad. Now, she was sad because Gu Lingqing trusted her. People were always contradictory. When they came to their senses, it was already too late. Only then would they feel even more vexed and regretful. Bai Ye took a tissue and wiped her eyes. Let's go to that piece of land. Cheng Jinrong looked at Bai Ye worriedly and drove. Bai Ye exhaled. It was strange. She didn't act up this time. Was it because she had made up her mind? Xiaowei and I grew up as childhood sweethearts. We went to primary school, middle school, high school, and university together. We had a good relationship before middle school. We confirmed our relationship in high school. She wanted to get married after university, and I wanted to start my own business after university. She waited for me for years and years. My temper got worse and worse until she left. I didn't even try to persuade her to stay, Cheng Jinrong recalled. It seems like she didn't really want to leave you. She just hoped that you would care about her a little more and change for her, Bai Ye guessed. I didn't change. Because I got drunk one time, I had sex with my subordinate. My subordinate was Xiaowei's best friend, so she naturally got together with me. I've been holding back my temper. After talking to you that time, I realized how bad I was to Xiaowei in the past. She's been waiting for you. So, you want to go back? Bai Ye asked. Yes, I want to go back, so I broke up with Yang and I. Bai Ye looked ahead with drooping eyes. In the novel, the male protagonist would be clean and self-loving. Even if there were misunderstandings with the female protagonist, he would eventually return to the female protagonist and live happily together. In reality, the male protagonist would have sex with another woman. When the male protagonist came to his senses, the female protagonist would have been murdered. I will definitely help you find the murderer. After confirming that there are really firearms dug out from that piece of land, I will go to the police station with you, Bai Ye promised. Su Jiaran gave her a week's time. As for Xiaowei, she only needed 3 days at most. She had promised before. She didn't want to break every promise she made. 1.5 hours later, they arrived near that piece of land. There were many soldiers stationed nearby to prevent people from getting close. Cheng Jinrong found a nearby resident and passed him a cigarette. Brother, why are there so many soldiers here? They came in the middle of the night and found a lot of firearms. It's so scary. It's actually near our village. We locals don't even know about it, the resident said. Chapter 247. Before she went back, she bought a new phone. For safety reasons, she changed her phone card number. On the way to the police station, she copied the phone number of everyone she knew, including Su Jiaran, and sent him a message. Su Jiaran received Bai Ye's message and called back immediately. Bai Ye answered. You changed your phone number? Trying to escape? His tone was very disdainful. If I wanted to escape, I wouldn't have sent you a message. I've decided to agree to your request, but I still have something to deal with here. I'll probably be back the day after tomorrow. When I come back, I'll go to your place, Baya said coldly. He still wants to struggle, but he won't succeed this time. The power is in my hands. If I want him to die, he can only die, Su Jiaran said arrogantly and confidently. Su Jiaran, sometimes you're very conceited, Baya said. It's not a flaw, Su Jiaran replied coldly. Cheng Jinrong is my friend. His ex-girlfriend was killed, and I promised to help him find the murderer. So I'll stay for 2 days, Baya explained. You're quite greedy. Gu Lingqing is going to die, but you still have the mood to save others. Do you know how Gu Lingqing feels? A poor man meeting a heartless woman. He can only be sad, Su Jiaran sneered proudly. Baya looked in front of her indifferently. What he wanted to think was his business. She was too lazy to explain. If there's nothing else, I'm hanging up, Baya said coldly. See you tonight. Su Jiaran hung up. Baya's heart skipped a beat. What did he mean by tonight? Cheng Jinrong looked at Baya holding the phone in a daze and said apologetically, Is it your husband's? If she's not satisfied with you helping me, you don't have to help. It's not your business anyway. I feel bad for making you fight. No, my husband. Since I've promised, I have to do it. Let's go to the police station first. Baya put away her phone. She was still a little worried. She had asked Gu Lingqing to help arrange for Gu Lingqing to be in charge of this case. But now that something had happened to Gu Lingqing, would it still be effective? She walked into the police station anxiously and knocked on the door of the chief's office. Hello, I'm Baya. Oh, expert. Nice to meet you. I thought you would come in the morning. Welcome, welcome, said the director warmly. Baya heaved a sigh of relief. Judging from the director's attitude, he probably didn't know about Gu Lingqing. It was also possible that Gu Lingqing had asked his subordinates to find someone to greet them. It was a good thing that the news of Gu Lingqing's death had not spread like wildfire. I want to see the condition of the girl who died at home yesterday, Baya said directly. You're talking about Chen Wei. They happen to be discussing this case. Thank you, expert Bai, said the director warmly. It's my duty, Baya said. The director brought Baya to the meeting room. For a moment, Baya thought of Gu Lingqing's death. Her heart felt stuffy as if she was suffocating. Her body was surging with soreness and pain. She had to wake up and settle this matter as soon as possible. Stop for a moment. This is Baya, a psychologist recommended by the Provincial Bureau. She's in charge of this case. If you have any questions, discuss it with her and cooperate with her. The director cooperated. Baya nodded and sat down. No one spoke. They looked at each other. Tell me about the content of the text message. The victim was holding the phone in her hand. Who was she chatting with? Baya asked. Speaking of this, it's a little strange. The victim died between 1700 hours and 1830. Her family found her dead when they called her for dinner. During this time, she didn't go out, and the window was locked from the inside. Her parents were outside the room, and they said that no one went in. The parents said that no one had entered the room. Lysergic acid diethylamine was detected in the victim's body. It's a drug that can cause hallucinations or coma. However, the victim was with her parents for the previous hour. There were no special symptoms. So we speculate that the drug was taken by mistake, causing her to hallucinate and commit suicide. At 1700 hours, the victim sent a text message to her ex-boyfriend. It was a very ordinary message. Where are you? Her ex-boyfriend didn't reply. We didn't see anything strange, a policeman said. Isn't there a surveillance camera outside their door? Baya asked. We've also checked the surveillance camera. Between 1700 hours and 1830 yesterday, no one entered or left Chen Wei's house. We also didn't find any signs of fighting in Chen Wei's room. Baya narrowed her eyes. I don't think so. Who would commit suicide with a phone in one hand and a knife in the other? And there's no special content on the phone. She took the drug by mistake. Her reaction would definitely be abnormal, a policeman retorted. Where did the drug come from? How did the victim take it by mistake? Did you find the drug at the scene? If you didn't, then this can't be explained. Moreover, if there's something strange in the room, can't her parents hear anything? It's impossible for her to take the drug and just lie on the bed, holding the phone in one hand and committing suicide with the other. Baya imagined this scene. The policeman also felt that it was a fantasy. They looked at each other. Are Chen Wei's parents still in the police station? Baya asked. In the lounge next door. Baya immediately got up and went next door. Cheng Jinrong was there. Chen Wei's parents were there. Uncle, Auntie, I want to ask, after Chen Wei entered the room, did you notice anything strange after Chen Wei entered the room? Baya asked. No, we were watching TV. Little Wei is very obedient. We thought she was reading a book inside. Chen Wei's mother said. What habits and hobbies does Chen Wei have? Baya asked. She's a homebody. She doesn't go out much. She won't offend anyone. Chen Wei's mother said. Cheng Jinrong seemed to remember something. He said to Baya, Little Wei likes to drink freshly ground coffee. She drinks it when she's in a good mood. She drinks it when she's in a bad mood. I once gave her a coffee machine. She always put it in her room. However, I didn't see it at the scene. Does she drink it every day? Baya asked. Every day after returning home, at about 17 o'clock, she makes coffee and drinks it. Chen Wei's mother said. Did she buy coffee beans or take the coffee machine out yesterday? No. So it must be a murder. Someone knows Chen Wei's habit. So between the night before Chen Wei fell asleep and last night at 17 o'clock, someone put the drug into the coffee machine. Chen Wei sent a message to you and drank the coffee. She was holding the phone, waiting for your reply. She became more and more sleepy, and then she fell asleep. At this time, someone stabbed Chen Wei's heart with a dagger and took away the coffee machine and coffee cups, Baya said to Cheng Jinrong. Who is that person? Cheng Jinrong was suspicious. Chapter 248. Chen Wei's parents also went to watch the video. Between 9 p.m. the day before yesterday and 17 p.m. yesterday, no one went to Chen Wei's house, and no one was particularly suspicious. Everything was calm. Baya watched the video 3 more times, but he still couldn't find any suspicious person. Could it be that Xiao Wei bought hallucinogens herself? Impossible, my Xiao Wei is very obedient. She wouldn't buy these things. She also has nothing to worry about. Chen Wei's mother said, puzzled. I'm going to kill those bastards. Chen Wei's father said excitedly. Baya could read his father's mood and thought that it was those people who harassed his daughter. Uncle, calm down. The possibility of your daughter eating hallucinogens is 0. If she ate hallucinogens herself, it's not reasonable for her to hold the phone in her hand, let alone eat it with her coffee. We must have missed something. Baya advised. I've watched the video several times. There's no murderer, no suspicious person. Could it be that the murderer crawled out from the ground? Chen Wei's father said sadly. Baya suddenly understood. Oh right, crawled out from the ground, let's go. If the murderer crawled out from the house, there must be a hole. It's been so long, it might not be blocked. Let's go quickly. Baya rushed out of the meeting room. Cheng Jinrong quickly followed. Chen Wei's parents and the police also followed. They arrived at Chen Wei's room. Chen Wei's room was only 15 square meters. Not big. They began to look for a place to hide. Move the cabinet away, Baya said to the police. The police moved the cabinet to the living room, and a black hole appeared on the ground. Chen Wei's mother saw it and immediately collapsed. My son. Baya's mood was especially heavy. When there's a pair of eyes staring at you in the dark, even if you're in your own home, beside your family, those people will still be everywhere. They will crawl out from the dark ground and use a knife to cut off the life of others. How to guard against it? How to be cautious? Go down and see, where does it lead to? Baya said. The police went down and came back after a while, reporting, it's a dead end, blocked by mud. What's going on? Chen Wei's father asked Baya. The murderer blocked it to prevent us from finding her, Baya explained. Then what should we do? Did my daughter die in vain? Chen Wei's mother said sadly. How much distance is left to cover now? Baya asked the policeman. I walked in for 10 meters, and the diameter of the hole is about 80 centimeters, the policeman replied. The calculation of volume is pi times r2 multiplied by height. In other words, there are about 5 cubic meters of soil that hasn't been dealt with. Moreover, the The soil that was dug out previously needs a place to be stored, and they didn't dare to dig it openly. Therefore, the murderer should be in the nearby residential area, Baya analyzed. She looked at the police and ordered, "First of all, get all the surveillance cameras in the vicinity. I want the footage from 9 p.m. the day before yesterday to 17 p.m. last night. Secondly, get the police to investigate the houses of the nearby residents as soon as possible. If there's a suspicious mound, it could be the work of the murderer. If they don't want to open the door, or if there's no one at home, it's best to find a way to enter the house and check if there's a place to store soil." Yes. The police were dispatched immediately. Baya sat on Chen Wei's bed and pondered. "We'll be able to find the murderer soon, right?" Chen Wei's mother worriedly asked. "We should be able to find the murderer soon. Moreover, the murderer is familiar with Chen Wei's living habits. The murder was also planned in advance." Baya judged. "Who killed my daughter? My daughter is very obedient, and she never offended anyone." Chen Wei's mother sobbed. Half an hour later, a policeman ran over and reported, "We caught the murderer. He's in the back row." The policeman reported. Chen Wei's father was the first to rush out, followed by Cheng Jinrong and Bai Ya. From afar, she saw a slender person wearing a black hoodie. She lowered her head and couldn't see what she looked like. Her body was covered with soil. Cheng Jinrong went up and took away the hoodie on her head. He was surprised. "It's you? Who asked her to seduce my boyfriend? You broke up with me because of her." Yang and I roared. "I thought you could understand," Cheng Jinrong said with an uneasy tone. "Cheng Jinrong, you're AB** starred. I accompanied you in your business and slept with clients for you. You used me and treated me like a tool. How could you just dump me like that? I'm not that easy to bully. I'm unlucky to have been caught by you. Otherwise, the next person I'll kill will be you." Yang and I roared. "Take her away," Baya said in a deep voice. "You're really amazing. You helped us find the murderer in a few hours. If you were a day late, she would have flushed all the soil out of the toilet. Then there would be no evidence. She's really a cunning murderer." The policeman laughed exaggeratedly. Baya politely nodded, but her mood wasn't good. Could it be that love is to destroy others and oneself? Then in this world, who still wants to be loved? The policeman left. The others were immersed in their own thoughts. No one spoke. Baya was the first to recover. She said to Cheng Jinrong, "My condolences. Since things have come to this, do what you should do next. I'll go first." "It's so late. You haven't eaten, right? Let me treat you to a meal," Cheng Jinrong said with a pained expression. "No need. Take good care of Chen Wei's parents. They don't have a daughter anymore. They treat you like a son. In the future, they will be your responsibility," Baya said meaningfully. Cheng Jinrong nodded. "I understand." Baya looked at Chen Wei's father. "If Chen Wei is still alive, she hopes that you'll be happy. Don't be too sad." Chen Wei's father looked at Baya. "Can I talk to you alone?" "Okay," Baya replied. Chen Wei's father walked in front while Baya followed behind. He entered the room and took out a notebook from a locked drawer and handed it to Baya. Baya didn't know what he meant and didn't take it. "I'm grateful to you. Thank you for helping my daughter get justice," Chen Wei's father said with a choked voice. "It's what I should do." Chen Wei's father stuffed the notebook into Baya's hand. "Don't tell anyone, and don't let anyone see it. You can go now." Baya had a strange feeling in her heart. She felt that this notebook was related to the treasure, but that piece of land had been taken by Su Jieron. Could it be that there were other details? "I'm lucky that I deliberately lied about the address. Hee hee, ungrateful wolf, ungrateful wolf." Chen Wei's father smiled bitterly and wiped his tears. He was one step ahead of Baya and walked out of the room. Deliberately lied about the address. Chapter 249. Cheng Jinrong stood at the door and looked into the room apologetically. He didn't step in. Chen Wei's father closed the door and shut Cheng Jinrong outside. Baya knew what to do. The white-eyed wolf Chen Wei's father was talking about might be Cheng Jinrong. If the hidden treasure was in another place, It was possible that Chen Wei's father was too careful and didn't tell the person behind the scenes. He deliberately told Cheng Jinrong on one hand, to confuse the person behind the scenes, on the other hand, he wanted to get back his beloved for his daughter. After Chen Wei and Cheng Jinrong got married, he would tell Cheng Jinrong the truth of the hidden treasure. Exactly where it is. Everything he did was for the sake of his daughter. Unfortunately, his daughter died in the hands of his love rival. When he was angry at Cheng Jinrong, he was also angry at himself. He felt that if he hadn't tempted Cheng Jinrong with the treasure, Cheng Jinrong wouldn't have broken up with him. If Cheng Jinrong hadn't broken up, his daughter wouldn't have died. So, in the end, Chen Wei's father gave her the notebook with the treasure information. She was not greedy for the treasure. She just wanted to find the culprit through the treasure. Once the treasure was handed over to the state and the culprit was brought to justice, she would be able to answer to Tang Xiaojiu. What about her and Gu Lingqing? Would they still have a chance to be together? After doing what she promised Cheng Jinrong, it was time for her to do her own things. She put the notebook in her bag and walked out of the room with heavy steps. She nodded to Chen Wei's father. Then I'm leaving. Take care, uncle. With tears in his eyes, Chen Wei's father nodded and opened the door. When Baiya came out of the house, Cheng Jinrong was still standing at the door. Let's go at this time. Your presence will only make Chen Wei's parents feel even worse. Wait until their grief has faded, and you can help them if you can. It can be considered as compensation. Baiya persuaded. Okay. Cheng Jinrong smiled bitterly. It seems that I went for wool and came home shorn. I deserve it. Where are you going? Let me see you off. No need, Baiya said indifferently. There were some things that she could only face alone. Oh, okay. As Baiya walked towards the road, she took out her phone from her bag and called Su Jiaran. What's wrong? Do you miss me already? Su Jiaran smiled evilly. Baiya felt a chill run down his spine. I've finished my business. I'm going back to Cydia now, Baiya said straightforwardly. Are you messing with me? Su Jiaran was furious. He was already on the train to Jinyuan City. The case was solved smoothly. I can't decide the time. If you think that I'm messing with you, I can't do anything about it. That's all. I'm hanging up. Baiya hung up the phone. He was going to check out of the hotel first. She passed the next room. This room was reserved by Gu Lingqing. Originally, they had agreed to meet here. Now, those beautiful words were like a golden millet dream. The more sober she was, the more her heart ached. Gu Lingqing, wait for me. Baiya looked at the door and said to the air. On her way to the train station, she called LV Xingzhou. What's the matter? LV Xingzhou was in an extremely bad mood. Baiya could understand. After all, he thought that there was a treasure in that piece of land. In the end, it fell into the hands of the authorities. It would be difficult for him to take it for himself. I'm sorry. I have to go back to Cydia now. It'll be a few days before I can come to Jinyuan City again. Cheng Jinrong has already told me. Call me when you come, LV Xingzhou said coldly and hung up the phone. Baiya put away her phone. It was already 1848 when she got on the train. She didn't eat breakfast, lunch, or dinner. She went to the train station's restaurant and ordered a 30 yuan fast food. Just as she sat down and took a bite, someone sat opposite her. Baiya glanced at it subconsciously, and her eyes froze. She didn't expect to see Su Jiaran so early. Instantly, she lost her appetite. Su Jiaran looked at her coldly and smirked. You can eat and drink. As expected, you're quite heartless. You can't feel anyone's kindness to you. Baiya ate a mouthful of rice and said sarcastically, even if I'm heartless, the only thing I care about was used by you, wasn't it? I don't know why a heartless woman like me is worth your nostalgia. You even went through so much trouble to set up so many traps. Su Jiaran leaned against the chair lazily. I'm a person who haggles over every penny. If someone owes me a penny, I'll definitely get it back. You wasted 3 years of my feelings. No matter what, I'll waste 30 years of your feelings before I feel a little refreshed. Baiya looked at Su Jiaran coldly and put down her chopsticks. She really couldn't eat anymore. I agreed to your request. Why did you let Gu Lingqing go? Su Jiaran's lips twitched. It's a simple sentence. After all, I'm the commissioner of the protection list. My testimony is very important. Baya knew that Su Jiaran had a hidden identity. He was afraid that his identity was hidden very, very deeply. If I agree to your request, what if you can't release Gu Lingqing? I can let him in, and I can let him out. You have no trust in me at all. Su Jiaran shrugged and said indifferently, then don't make a deal. To be honest, between killing you and killing Gu Lingqing, I'm more inclined to kill Gu Lingqing. So, Baya, you didn't negotiate with me. My position on this matter. I want to see Gu Lingqing. Is that okay? Baya asked. Of course. I also want you to persuade Gu Lingqing to divorce you and agree to marry Zhou Hailan. If he agrees, I'll let him go. Su Jiaran put a stack of documents on the table. Baya stared at him and didn't say anything. Su Jiaran smiled evilly. Let's eat. After eating, read all the documents. I'll bring you to see Gu Lingqing tomorrow. Su Jiaran stood up and walked towards the first-class carriage. Baya took the documents. One was the divorce agreement, her and Gu Lingqing's. The other was the marriage agreement. It was between him and Zhou Hailan. It said that if either party of Party A or Party B asked for a divorce, they would leave with nothing. Su Jiaran's move was too cruel. Not only did he forcefully twist the trajectory of their lives, but he also made her hurt Gu Lingqing again. She was annoyed. There was a surge of anger rushing to her brain. She was almost unable to think. She casually knocked the fast food box on the table to the ground. She noticed that she was wrong. She immediately took out the medicine from her bag. Her hands trembled as she poured out a pill. She ate it and leaned against the chair to rest for a minute. When she opened her eyes, they were clear. Forget it. She was a psycho. The medicine couldn't control her for a few years. She couldn't give birth to a child for Gu Lingqing. She was an unlucky person. One day, she would become a burden to Gu Lingqing like her mother. Her death was not to be regretted. As long as Gu Lingqing could be happy, her sacrifice was worth it. Baya's mouth raised into a smile. You're tuning in to the Xiaofan's Wuxia Tales YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.